overload. Time to go another level past overflow. We gon' do the most, overthrow the comatose. Raise it up till the vibe reach Holy Ghost. Yeah, this a lift off energy. Got a date with destiny and she feeling my chemistry. Manifestation, dreams to delivery. Mind over matter, faith over disbelief. Here we go, if you with me let me know. Let's go, fired up, and my level never low. Let's go, here we go, if you with me let me know. Let's go, ready set, let's go, ready set, let's go, ready set, let's go, ready set, let's go.
Hudson River here in West Point, New York, on the campus of the United States Military Academy at West Point. And today's matchup featuring the Pennsylvania University Quakers, 1-1 in the CSFL, 0-1 in their division, coming to Shea Stadium to take on the Army West Point Black Knights, who are 1-0 through their first contest in the CSFL campaign. Alongside Caleb Self, I'm Justin Rock. Welcome in to Night Vision as the Black Knights getting ready for their home opener against the Penn Quakers. This is an Army team that has reached the CSFL championship the last couple of years and have a lot of talent on this roster. Joined alongside Caleb Self, a outstanding safety in his own right during his days here at West Point on the sprint football team. 4 offensive linemen returning on this offense, Caleb, and this is a loaded squad for head coach Mark West.
Yeah, you know, there's lots of massive expectations for this team. Like you mentioned, been to this CSFL championship the last few years, haven't converted, but they're looking to change that this year.
Got 4 returning offensive linemen from last year, including Alex Wells and Trayton Thomas. All of the running backs from last year, including the league's leading passer and touchdown thrower from a year ago, and Mikhail Willicke. This is a loaded offense, Caleb, and Penn's going to have their hands full trying to slow them down. An offense that put up over 40 last week against Mansfield.
Yeah, 100%. You know, you mentioned it, a lot of seniors up front. It's huge. Have that experience, have that base of you know, just continuity within that offense, and you know, they're looking to do much the same tonight.
This is a Penn Quakers team that 1-1 on the year, coming off a loss to Cornell in last week's contest under head coach Jerry McConnell, and their offense going up against a little bit of a greener Army defense. Graduated some talented players, but Luke Gigliotti and so many others on the defense looking to slow down a Penn offense that has historically had some really good quarterbacks.
Yeah, you know, what's good about the Army team is we always have guys coming in. You know, that's the mission of the military, next man up. And so while we lost some guys, you know, the defensive staff is fully confident in those guys stepping into those roles as well.
We'll send it down to the field for the national anthem. Back here at Shea Stadium, it had been raining pretty much throughout the entirety of this afternoon, so much so that if you look to the far end of Shea Stadium, behind either end zone, still plenty of pools of water along the running track as both sides getting ready for the coin toss here at West Point. But right now, 55 degrees, still some rain potentially in the forecast. Caleb, you you've played on this turf field many times over the years. How slick can this field get for the players on the field tonight?
It can definitely get pretty slick, and the Army offense is looking to run tempo, get out, get fast, and so the rain can pose some issues to that. However, this team has played in numerous rainstorms throughout the years, namely Caldwell 2 years ago, the 4-2 game.
You read my mind, Caleb. You knew where I was going next.
Yeah, I had standing water in my shoes by the end of that one, so I think this team's ready to weather any storm, pun intended.
I was going to say a 5 overtime game, 4-2 in a torrential downpour. When I saw the forecast and saw the weather unfurling today, that was immediately where my mind went to. Did that come up at all today with the team, reminiscing from that game a couple of years ago?
Oh, 100%. It's become sort of a joke with us because every time we seem to travel, we seem to get rained on. Penn last year, Mansfield last week, Mansfield 2 years ago, Caldwell 2 years ago. So it's almost the norm now. So when we get a clear game, it's a nice break.
It's been a nice change of pace to see that the rain, at least for now, has started to subside. As the coin toss was won by Penn, they have deferred to the second half. At least that's what we are imagining based off the hand signals from the officials. This not quite like Division I, where you got the refs with microphones. So we will be the eyes and ears as you look at the defensive captain. That's the senior Luke Gigliotti, the reigning defensive player of the year in the league. A very young defensive secondary, Caleb, but Luke has really been a stalwart in the middle for this defense for so many years.
Yeah, I've played football since I was 5 years old, and I've never seen anyone that has a nose for a ball better than Gigliotti does. Yorba Linda kid from California, played some big-time ball there, and then came in. He's an all-state kid. One of the toughest guys I know, tough as nails. So he's been our leader for the last 3 years pretty much. And even when he was a freshman starting against Navy on that one-game season, he had a great game there too. So it's an every-week thing for him.
Head coach Mark West has seen his sons have an impact on this program, but the Gigliotti family as well. Not only Luke, but his older brother Jake was an outstanding running back here for Coach West over the years. Army will receive the opening kickoff here tonight. It'll be Kobe Simeon back to receive, all the way back at the Army. Let's see, maybe about 5 or 10 yard line. It'll be Adrian Montemayor, a native of Mexico, to kick things off. The reigning CSFL Special Teams Player of the Year from a season ago. Looking at tonight, getting ready for kickoff. Waiting on the final go-ahead from the officials. Players seem to be ready to roll.
Yeah, they've been waiting all week for this, ready to get going.
Ready to get going, and always a better feeling when the rain starts to subside, although this really is, with the chill in the air, perfect football weather tonight, Caleb.
Yeah, nothing more you could ask for.
Montemayor will let it fly off his right foot, and it'll be received there along the near side. Not by Simeon, but by Maurice Bellan, the former D1 player. And he will make his way out near the 30-yard line. And a good return for West Point. 9 seconds in, they'll have first down. So here comes Mikkel Willicke. And the Army at West Point offense, Willicke last week in the season opener, 14 for 25, 157 yards and 2 touchdowns. The leading returning passer and touchdown thrower in the CSFL. You've had a chance to be in huddles and be around Mikkel over the last number of years. What makes him so talented and such a gifted leader?
You know, he's just super steady. Nothing really phases him. It's not too fun to go up against him in practice. He knows the offense like the back of his hand as well, so he's just really prepared and really calm.
Florida native gives the handoff. Bellan running it to the left. He's out across the 40, out across the 45. But a flag has been thrown over at the far sideline, and we'll see what the call is.
Looked like a potential hold.
Waiting for the call from the referee. That's something, talking with Coach West earlier in the week, that's something he wanted his team to improve upon from last week, reducing the penalties, especially on the offensive side of the ball, and especially as well on the holding calls. And it was indeed a holding penalty against the Black Knights, and that'll back them up 10.
Yeah, penalty or something you want to eliminate as much as possible, obviously, but especially as you get later and later in the year and the games start to mean a little bit more in terms of the overall season. So it's been a constant point of contention for the team.
Offensive line of Logan Powell, Trayton Thomas, Alec Wells, Luke Melton, and Zachary Shaver. Willicke shovels it off to the near side, making a couple of nice moves. Look to be Henry Beck. But Penn's defense on first down and 20, able to do a good job and keep the gain to a minimal.
Yeah, you saw pretty much 5 or 6 guys right there flying to the football, forcing cutback lanes, and then the flow was able to clean up Beck there.
Henry Beck on the carry. He and Ryan Connors have been a dynamic duo in the Black Knight backfield over the last couple of years. Beck able to make a couple of men miss. About as impressive a 4-yard run as you can get. Willicke rolls left, throws left, able to make the grab out along the far side. Appears to be Devin Brown. And the Black Knights will have third down coming up just inside the original 10 to go. Just on the Black Knights side of midfield, a little over a minute gone by. Third down and 9, Willicke in shotgun. 3 receivers to the near side as Willicke looks back to the sideline for some signals. Along that near side, Simeon Balan and Scott Belleville it appears to be. Willicke fakes the handoff to Connors. Looks to pump fake, rolling right, under pressure, throws to Balan, makes the catch, cutting left, looking to move upfield towards midfield, and ends up getting a lot closer to a first down than you would have initially thought. A couple of Black Knights motioning that they got the first down, and it will be fourth down and short, at least for the time being, and now they will change it. They will move the change, first down, Black Knights.
That's just an awesome job extending the play, finding a playmaker, Bell in there. Super dynamic in space, super quick, so great play there by Willicke.
Balan, former running back on the D1 team as recently as last year. A handoff up the middle, and into a massive humanity goes Ryan Connors on his first carry of the night. Take a look back at that first down throw from Willicke to Balan, and already we've seen what makes Maurice so talented. He's done a marvelous job making guys miss. Willicke takes the snap, throws right, finds Simeon, and he's quickly wrapped up by Josh Johnson. And so a quick strike there from Willicke to his man, and Army starting to gather more and more steam on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I barely have time to get a word in. They're going so quick. That's the goal of the offense, though.
High tempo, high flying offense for West Point has been the case for many years under their longtime head coach Mark West, who's done a marvelous job, a several-time champion here in the CSFL. Willicke in shotgun, sidecar to his left. Third down and 3 from the 45. A handoff up the middle for Connors, and he will sprawl his way up across the first down marker. And another first down for the Black Knights as they move the chains.
Nice job by Alec Wells, the center there, and then the 2 guards opening that hole right up the middle for Connors.
Wells all first team a year ago. They fake the pass, handoff Connors, a sweep to the left. And he will pick up maybe a small chunky yardage, 3 or 4 on that carry running left. And the Black Knights will have second down and medium on the Penn side of the field.
Yeah, running stretch plays like that when you're going tempo really tires out the defense, especially the defensive linemen. They get really tired and they can't penetrate like normal.
Willicke again in shotgun, 3 receivers to the near side. Johnson, the cornerback, leaking inside a little bit. Fakes the handoff. Willicke looking deep over the middle. Finds Simeon inside the 10 and wrapped up at about the 5-yard line. Second catch of the night for Simeon. And it'll be first and goal for the Black Knights at the 5. Again, going with the tempo. Willicke takes a snap. Handoff up the middle for Henry Beck. And he will power his way to about the 2-yard line.
Yeah, Kobe Simeon, elite route runner, elite hands, showcased right there. I haven't seen him drop many balls in 4 years here. That's just what he does.
Incredible job to readjust on that ball mid-flight. Again, Willicke in shotgun. Looks like Henry Beck is the man to the near side.
You got a lot of space down here next to the near side of the screen.
A lot of spacing along the right side. They will hand it off to Beck, who powers himself forward. And is he in? Now there's the signal. Touchdown, West Point. Henry Beck powers it in. Had 2 touchdowns last week. Was the CSFL Offensive Player of the Week. And Army starts their home schedule first drive. First home touchdown of the year.
Yeah, what really was impressive about that drive is just the way they bounced back after the holding penalty on the first play to get those yards back, get a big 4th down or 3rd and 20 conversion, and then really step it up to put it in at the end.
Ryan Connors on the extra point, and he will knock it home. Connors was not the man that kicked last week for the Black Knights. It was Alex Pirine. But Connors not only getting some work in the backfield, but also on special teams. You'll see that quite a bit in the CSFL, especially on the Penn side of things here tonight. And one of those men is the man you see on the screen, Montemayor, plays in the defensive backfield, also serves as kicker and punter. But Caleb, a marvelous first drive, as you mentioned, for Army. Also a really good bounce back from the offensive line after the holding call on the first play from scrimmage.
Yeah, there were really only 2 big pass plays, the one to Balan for the first down and then the long one to Simeon up the seam. Besides that, they really just ground and pound in tempo, and the offensive line did a great job.
An outstanding job by this Black Knights offense that has perennially been one of the best in all of collegiate sprint football. Last year, dominating the game against Penn, winning on the road 40-0. Short kick there, fielded by Johnson at about the 20, and he will weasel himself forward out across the 35. And good field position for the Quakers for their first drive of the night.
Robert Braggs with the tackle there on the kickoff. Really big energy guy, super fast, super quick, even for a defensive lineman. He's a great asset to have.
I was going to say, Braggs, not a guy who's normally on the starting defensive line, but when you have a guy like him that can rotate in, that's a huge asset for a team.
100%, especially when another team's trying to go tempo, you can get fresh bodies in there.
Ty Scherer, the quarterback out of Glen Rock, New Jersey, not far away in Bergen County. His first handoff of the night goes to J.T. Goodman, and he runs into a black wall. Immediately thrust down James Windsor, one of the men that helped create the stop.
Yeah, you saw 11 hats on the ball there. That's what we teach for the defense, as many guys to the ball as possible. Try to create turnovers and eliminate, arm tackles as well.
Some of the starters you'll see for the Black Knights: Christian Dionisio, Jonathan Abrahams, Luke Gelati, Brahim Swanson, Weber Carsey. And that's one of the interesting names on this Army defense, talking with Coach West earlier in the week. 2nd down and 9, though, for Penn. And the shotgun Scherer, handoff up the middle. And Goodman might have lost yardage on that play. Immediately smacked in the backfield. Looked to be Ryan Rast, one of the stars in the D-line that got him first.
Yeah, Ryan Rast, terrific talent. Last year had a monster year, and they're just overpowering the offensive tackle. There's not much you can do.
And talk about monster year. Part of that monster year was the game at Penn in Philly. Had 4 of his sacks in that game last year against the Quakers. Mike Sullivan, who was a great linebacker for the team last year, has moved over to the D-line in order to put Weber Carsey in the starting lineup. Scherer takes the snap, rolling left, under pressure, looking to throw, fires it into a swarm of black uniforms on the near sideline, just threw that ball away. Great job by the defensive secondary. No options for Scherer.
Yeah, it looked like the slot guy ran a corner there. Tierney was all over it, cuff on the backside as well, locking it down. That's what you want from the secondary, forced coverage sacks or coverage throwaways.
And one of the things Coach West mentioned earlier this week as Ben Deloitte back to receive the punt is the fact that this a very young defensive secondary. As Deloitte makes the catch, will push himself forward a couple of yards. Nice job to make something out of nothing there for Deloitte. And Army will take the field. 8:19 to go in the first quarter for their second drive of the game. But have to be very proud as a former defensive back in your own right of how these young guys have really stepped up into a role that you left.
Yeah, it's a joy to work with them every day. I'm down there with Coach Lynch. I primarily work with the safeties, which I played, and then he works with the corners. But it's really fun to watch them grow, especially the young guys.
How have they been in terms of taking lessons and learning from you, someone who was such a star on the back end of the defense for so many years?
It's funny, you know, I'm kind of like some of my older brother, but a lot of them like to give me a bunch of crap, but it's all in good fun.
That's part of the fun of being on a sports team, especially at a military academy, as Willicke swings it out to the near side. Henry Beck continuing to make people miss and able to push himself forward, a gain of about 5 or 6 there on first down. He is so good at creating the first man to miss.
Yeah, this running back swing there, get him in space, make some people miss, and get a good chunk of yardage.
Get athletes with room to run. Now they'll do the same with Cody Lawmanack. And again able to make somebody miss and work himself out near midfield. Jordan Ortiz was the man who put his first arms around Lawmanack, but Cody would not go down.
No, he's one of the toughest receivers I've ever played against. We had some pretty big battles in practice last year, button heads, but that's the type of guy you want on your squad.
And that's something that Coach West said really blossomed last year as Willicke under pressure, and he's going to go down. Penn's defensive line able to get to the Black Knight quarterback. And that'll be their first sack of the night. Looked to be Stephen Chen who got there first.
Yeah, Chen came off the edge there at the top of the screen, little swim move, and he came down and right there on Shaver and then got Willicke.
Actually looked to be Janik that got there first. Cam Janik was actually the man that beat Chen to the ball. So a flag looked to be thrown there as a dump pass over the near side, and Kobe Simeon able to work himself forward. See if there was indeed a flag. Looked like something came flying in, but there was no flag on the play. I was mistaken. And the Black Knights will have third down. 6:48 to go. Third down and 6. From the Penn 47.
False start.
Looked to be a false start, but the play continues. It wasn't blown dead. Army's got a first down out across the 25, and Ben Deloitte continuing to bring bodies with him out across the 20-yard line. Looked like a false start. Seemed like everybody on the field noticed something happened. Then the play kept going.
I think it was a false start. They just missed it, but that's why you keep playing till the whistle.
And credit to the Black Knights and Simeon for refusing to let that play die, as now that throw from Willicke to the far side bounces. It'll be incomplete, second down and 10. As Ben Deloitte, a marvelous run there, just truck sticking Montemayor.
Yeah, him and Beck come to mind when I think of the most dynamic guys on the team. Deloitte actually had a punt return for a touchdown last year at Penn.
Willicke rolling right, low throw reeled in by Simeon, trying to hold on to the ball, and does so as he's wrapped up at the 6-yard line. So a 12-yard gain there. It'll be a first down for the Black Knights, or as a gain of, no, it was indeed a first down. First down and goal from the 6-yard line. Had to trust myself there. Willicke, handoff, up the middle runs Beck. And a nice job pushing him back by the Penn D line. Looked to be Jake and Sarah on the stop.
Yeah, what Army seems to be doing is really attacking the perimeter with swing routes, stop routes, hitch routes on the outside, and then when they start loosening them up, they attack over the middle.
That worked out beautifully on their first touchdown. A short run by Henry Beck on their opening drive, trying to make it 2 for 2 inside the red zone tonight. Willicke takes the snap, throws left over the middle and just out of the reach of his intended receiver, Devin Brown. Might have put too much mustard on it.
Yeah, you'd rather do that than throw it behind him and throw an interception, though. It's the right idea, just a little too much cheddar on it.
So it'll be third down and goal for the Black Knights on the 4-yard line. Willicke, a rare incompletion, at least through the early going tonight. So third down and goal from inside the 5-yard line. Beck to his right. They fake the handoff to Beck. Willicke rolls right, throws to the end zone, finds the smallest window, and is able to get it through to Simeon for 6.
What a throw there by Willicke. You know, Army went bunch tight there, tried to spread them out with some misdirection in the backfield, and then Simeon with a nice out route to the pylon, and Willicke just threads the needle.
Now you mentioned Simeon being an outstanding route runner, a beautiful route to the near side of the end zone, putting it, especially for Willicke, great job to put it in a place only his man could get it, as Ryan Connors on the extra point, up and good. And Army a quick 14-0 lead with 5.5 to go in the first quarter. Ryan Connors thrust into kicking duties with Alex Pirine not holding that honor, at least through the early going today. Is that something you've seen from Ryan a bunch over the years, practicing kicking, or is this a new endeavor for Ryan?
To be completely transparent, I didn't even see him kick until the game where P-Line got hurt, so it was pretty funny. I had never even seen him kick a ball once before that.
Well, Ryan Connors getting the job done, 2 for 2 on PATs tonight. That seems to be a common MO for this West Point program. Always a big next man up philosophy.
Yeah, 100%. That's what the Army's all about, and I can't help but notice how funny it looks to have a kicker with tights and an arm sleeve on. I've never seen that before.
Well,
he looks good, though.
I was going to say, the most stylish kicker you ever did see, Mr. Connors, lets it fly up along the far side, fielded at the 10 by number 10, Johnson, trying to jump over a tackler, and a good job defensively by the Black Knights to spell that out. Brandon Castro seems to be the man that got there first.
Yeah, Castro, new addition to the team. He's in my cadet company, super athlete, one of those guys that's just always flying around with the ball, super quick, super fast.
And Castro, a guy who was a D1 linebacker in his freshman season back in 2021. So Penn, their second drive, need to find a way to start getting some momentum, already down by 2 scores with under 5.5 to go in the opening quarter. Scherer in shotgun. A handoff to Goodman up the middle, and Gelati immediately wraps him up. He doesn't let too many guys get out of his grasp.
No, he doesn't. I'm sure you saw that last week with the hit he put on Raymond, Mansfield's quarterback. Also knocked him out of the game 2 years ago. Not only do you not want to run into gigs, but you really don't want to get tackled by him.
A guy who has been phenomenal over his entire Army career, over 12 tackles for loss coming into this season. So again, shotgun for Penn. Haven't looked to throw the ball all that much so far in the first quarter. 2 receivers to the far side. Man comes in motion across the formation to the left, and it'll be a false start against the Quakers.
When you have that sort of defensive pressure up front, you know, it gets in the offensive linemen's heads, especially when they didn't get a yard on the first drive. You know, you start getting jumpy, and that's what we saw there.
It's been very tough for the offense to get any real push, at least through the first couple of plays for Penn so far today on the offensive line.
Yeah, and Goulet there caused that pressure.
So it'll be 2nd down and 14 for Penn. Clock running with 4.5 to go here in the first quarter. 2 receivers bunch to the far side. Goodman and the sidecar to Scherer's right. They will fake the handoff to Goodman. Scherer keeps it up the middle and looked like he had some momentum. And all of a sudden, Gelati and company said, nope, you're going backwards.
Yeah, you know, you see him trying to pull some misdirection there. They ran motion 2 out of the last 3 plays and then had a wham back in there as well to try to, you know, give the defense a different look. But they're super disciplined and not working right now.
And they've done a marvelous job keeping Penn behind the sticks. 3rd down and 11. All the way back at the Penn 24-yard line. 2 receivers to the far side. Lone man is Danny Cole to the near side. Goodman to the right of the quarterback, Scherer. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls right, throws a dump pass to the tight end, and Gelati just immediately wraps up Sam Herzog, and it'll be 4th down. He is just so good. As soon as he is in the vicinity of a player, he wraps him and just does not let him go. It is so impressive.
No, I think everyone knows about his strength, but what's really understated is his speed. He's super fast. You know, coming out of high school, he was a running back in high school as well. And he actually has pretty elite speed for a running back. For a linebacker.
Well, Penn able to let it fly. A fair catch called for. Army will let it bounce, and Penn will down it just on the Army side of the gridiron. And it'll be great field position for the Black Knights, their 3rd drive of the game, with 3:08 to go in the first quarter. And Caleb, if you're Coach Mark West and his staff looking at the first 2 drives for both sides so far today, have to be very pleased with how it's gone.
Yeah, but other than the 2 penalties, it's been pretty flawless. You know, the offense has bounced back from those 2 penalties. They're exploiting the perimeter. They're also throwing seam routes up the middle, and they're converting when you get in the red zone, and that's all you can ask for. So
Army's offense back on the field. And it will not be Willicke. It is J.C. Brown under center. Hands it off to Balan across the formation to his right. And he'll pick up a small chunk And it'll be second down upcoming for the Black Knights. You think this is a scheduled situation right now for Willicke, or you think maybe something happened on that last drive?
I think this is scheduled. Seth Brown has elite athleticism, almost unreal numbers in high school. Pretty much everyone that I've seen knew his highlight tape, and he's just a great athlete.
Well, Brown was wrapped up, and he lost the ball, and Penn's going to take over. A strip sack for the Quakers and a massive turnover for Penn. And talking about everything going so well for the Black Knights through their first 4 drives. Brown let that ball get a little loose that time. And a nice job by Penn. Looked to be Ryan Horvath on the recovery.
Yeah, and this is Penn's first drive in opposing territory, so we'll see if they can convert here.
So great opportunity for Penn to try and chip away, leading, or rather trailing by a couple of scores. 2.5 to go here in the first quarter. Man in motion from left to right. That's Herzog. Handoff to Goodman running left. He's got some open space up along the near sideline, out across the 30. And that'll be a first down for Penn as they have their most explosive offensive play of the day.
Yeah, potential touchdown saving tackle there by Brahim Swanson, getting off the block and force him out of bounds.
Goodman out of Howell, New Jersey. And 30 carries so far this year. Last week, 76 yards and a couple of touchdowns. The reigning CSFL Rookie of the Week. He's to the left of the quarterback, Scherer. First down and 10 from the Army 27. Scherer, handoff to Goodman, running right, and he is immediately thrust down.
Nice play there by Ryan Rast.
Ryan Rast bursting off the defensive line and snuffing out the run there by Goodman, a gain of 1.
Just a standard inside zone there for Penn. You know, he's reading Sullivan, the defensive end there. Sullivan stayed home, so he just gave it.
And Sullivan, such a gifted linebacker, had an amazing season last year, an all-league first-team linebacker a year ago. And Coach West has said he has done a marvelous job making the adjustment to D-line during the course of training camp. Scherer in shotgun again. Goodman to his left. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, looks left, throws left, finds his man. That is Herzog, and he is immediately wrapped up. Brahim Swanson, one of the first men to get there. Weber Carsey there as well.
Yeah, Penn's got a third down here. You know, Coach Sessa, the Army defensive coordinator, really preaches first and third down, how crucial those are in getting the defense off of the field.
So third down and 4 for Penn coming into play today. They're 36% on third down this season. 0 of 2 so far tonight. Trying to find a way to get on the scoreboard. Trailing already by a couple of scores. 3rd and 4 from the Army 21. Valletta by himself to the near side, looks right, throws right, and immediately batted down. Weber Carsey there again.
Great play there, you know, showcasing his athleticism, jumping up, knocking that ball down. Carsey is one of the most skilled football players I've ever seen. You know, in practice, he's spinning the ball 60 yards down the field, you know, just playing catch, and then he just, another one of those guys that just has a nose for the ball.
A phenomenal job by Carsey there to make a play on the ball. And Penn's going to go for it on 4th down and 4 from the Army 21-yard line. 2 of 7 on 4th down this year. They were 6 of 26 a season ago. Scherer in shotgun. Goodman to his left. Army shows pressure. Now fakes the handoff. Scherer running left, looking to flip it forward, throws it into a crowd of humanity who came down with it. And they'll say it is an incomplete pass. It's going to be Army football.
Yeah, no surprise there for Penn. They don't want this game to get out of hand. They want to go for it on 4th down, try to strike back here, but Army defense, great coverage, and got some pressure as well.
It looked like Scherer just sort of shoveled that ball into a massive humanity down the near sideline, just hoping somebody in a white shirt would come down with it. And instead, Army takes over with 6 seconds to go. It looks like Army picked that one off.
Yeah, I didn't even see who came down with it, but, you know, worst case scenario, it's almost like a punt, throwing it up rather than taking a sack.
And we'll see if Get a replay and find out who was the one that came down with that interception. It was about a 7-yard switch in terms of field position. It might have been Robert Braggs, the D lineman. Leaked back into coverage. Wilkie back in the ball game, going to fake the handoff, running left. And a flag comes down at the tail end of the play. That'll be the final play of the first quarter. We'll see what the ruling is. All around 3 or 4 officials huddled up right at about the 20-yard line, maybe the 15.
Looks like it's going to be against the Black Knights.
Army's backing up just a little bit. Haven't seen the hand signal from the officials, but there will be a penalty on the Black Knights, and they will be backed up when they come back on the field for the start of the second quarter. But Army, 2 drives to start, 2 touchdowns. It will be a hold on the Black Knights that back them up half the distance to the goal. And Army will have a long field to work with when we come back. 14-0 Black Knights after 1 on Night Vision on YouTube.
United States Military Academy, you're on the team from day one.
A team where people are the #1 priority and winning matters.
A team of scholars, athletes, and leaders, each striving to become all that they can be.
Are you ready to join our team?
West Point, where leaders are made.
He may not turn out to be a black belt or play Carnegie Hall,
He'll take the chicken fingers.
but with the money you earn from your Penn Fed checking and savings accounts,
He's growing up. Look at him.
your goal of
USAA? Yeah, they have awesome rates on coverage for our car, home, and stuff. She has a lot of stuff.
In the backfield, staying up after almost getting chopped down and then making a couple guys miss and turning into positive gain.
A 14-yard run on first down and 17. And now second down and 3. Back at the 21-yard line.
Doubles here for the Black Knights.
The receivers to either side. Beck and the sidecar to Willekes left, throws left, finds Devin Brown, and is immediately wrapped up by Matt Kentra.
More quick game there for Army, just trying to get the ball out, and they're going to try to run the tempo up.
First catch of the day for Brown's been targeted a couple of times so far tonight. Brown and Ballon to the near side. Bunch receivers to the far end of the formation. Willeke in shotgun, handoff to Beck. Beck running left, gets across the 30, out across the 35, and still pulling himself forward as he's wrapped up just shy of the 40.
Yeah, just chunk yardage there. Attacking the edges again there, as you see, and he's just too fast for the defensive line chasing him.
He's a touchdown machine, was tied for second in the league in rushing touchdowns a year ago, already 3. There was first 5 quarters in 2023.
Not too bad.
I'll take that any time, and I'm sure Mark West and the coaching staff will as well. They will pitch it this time to Beck, again able to make the first man miss and able to work himself back to the previous line of scrimmage, the 35. It'll be third down and short.
You just can't overstate how difficult it is to get him on the ground. You're seeing it already. He's just making 2-3 guys miss on every play.
I was going to say that might be one of the better 1-yard runs you'll ever see. Third down and 1 from the Army 36-yard line. Army's been very effective on third downs so far today, especially passing the football. Willekes in shotgun here on third and short. Will roll out right, throws over the middle, finds Bellon, and that'll be a first down, couple of yards shy of midfield.
Pretty convenient play call there for the Black Knights, a rollout. Penn sent a guy off the edge there, chasing Willeke, but the design sprint pass worked out well.
And player for Penn a little bit slow to get up is Jake Insera, an all-league second-team member a year ago, linebacker out of Woodbine, New Jersey. Guy's also been all-league first team. That was a couple of years ago. High school teammates with offensive lineman Paul Jumakaris. And great to see that Insera up on his feet and off the field on his own power. And now both sides will be summoned back from their coaches. 12:49 to go here in the first half. Army a 14-0 lead alongside former Sprint football safety Caleb Self. I'm Justin Rock. Happy to have you with us on Night Vision on YouTube. We will have all 4 games from Shea Stadium in CSFL play this year live here on Night Vision on YouTube. Willicke rolling left, throws left and off the hands of Brown. Incomplete coverage there that time from Jordan Ortiz. And we'll have coverage of the game next Friday against Navy at Mikey Stadium. We'll also have coverage of the game on October 20th against St. Thomas Aquinas. And no matter what, the league championship game is going to be here on Sunday, November the 12th at 1 o'clock. Army hoping to not only be hosting it ceremonially, but hosting it literally as well. So all 4 of those games, including tonight, right here on YouTube. Willicke fires over the middle and intercepted. Intercepted, a great play over the middle. And I want to say that is Insera. Insera, his first play back in the game after departing for 1 play with injury, comes back and immediately makes an impact with a pick.
Yeah, not even a bad route concept there. I think Willicke just tried to thread the needle a little bit, came out with a lot of heat, and then Insera just jumped in front.
Insera coming up with the interception. That the first of his collegiate career. And once again, Penn forcing a turnover. That's their second forced in as many drives. Scherer, though, trying to run away from a swarm of black shirts and could only do so for so long. Drive started at the 49, didn't gain much, if any, on that first play from scrimmage.
Design quarterback draw there. It looked like he had some space initially, but too many black shirts converging on the ball there.
It seems like that's something that's always been a threat for Penn as you look at the interception there from Insera. Always love the dual threat quarterbacks, and Scherer the latest in a long line of that. And last year, this Army defense terrorized Penn's quarterbacks, 14 sacks in that game in Philly. Scherer again in shotgun. I'll hand it off up the middle for Goodman. And Goodman able to move the pile for a tad out near the 45. Gain of maybe 3. It'll be 3rd and manageable upcoming for the Quaker offense.
Be interested to see what the Army defense does here. Do they send pressure on the quarterback, or do they sit back and play their normal coverage? We'll see.
So it'll be 3rd down and 6. Ball at the Army 45-yard line. 2 receivers to the near side. 2 to the far side as well. Sidecar to the QB's left. And pressure shown by Army, and will it be a neutral zone infraction or a false start? That's the question. Penn trying to influence the officials and say it was on the defense. And it will be, I believe, against the Black Knights, and that is going to make it even closer. 3rd down and 1 now upcoming for the Quakers.
I don't know about you, Justin. From our angle, it didn't look like he crossed into the neutral zone. I know I'm biased, but to me it looked like just a normal false start.
Certainly close in terms of that far end of the formation, which is where it happened.
Now we got 3rd and inches.
So 3rd down and 1. Ball at the Army 40-yard line. Quakers trying to pick up a 1st down. They hand it off, and they're going the wrong way. Oh, my goodness. They almost beat him to the handoff. James Windsor says no thank you, and it's 4th down.
What a play there by James Windsor. Another one of those Sprint families that you were referring to. I played with his brother for 3 years as well.
He got the handoff, and he got hit immediately.
Yeah, he just can't overstate his athleticism either. Just a dog.
It was like that Jadeveon Clowney play against Michigan.
Yeah, except his helmet didn't come off.
And Penn deciding to punt this time. Deloitte going back to receive down at about the 7-yard line. A fair catch. And the Black Knights will take over. Were you surprised at all by the decision by Penn to punt after they went for it last time deep inside Army territory?
Honestly, a little bit. I know obviously the yardage was a little bit longer. I think it was maybe 4th and 7, 4th and 6, something like that. They may just try to pin Army deep here and get another turnover with even shorter field than last time.
Well, the Black Knights, after touchdowns in each of their first 2 drives, have turned it over on a fumble and an interception in their last 2. Caleb, what does Army need to do better in terms of keeping possession of the football on this drive?
I think they just need to go back what they did the first 2 drives. You know, that formula, take care of the ball, just relax a little bit. They're going to be just fine.
Willicke will start the drive in shotgun. 2 receivers to the either side of the line. Willicke pump fake deep down the left sideline. He's got Devin Brown. Makes a man miss. Johnson holding on from behind, and Brown finally wrapped up at about midfield. Well, they tried to pin Army deep, and Mikel Willicke said, "Not so fast, my friend," in the words of Lee Corso.
Yeah, Devin Brown double move there. The corner bites, and he's wide open.
Devin Brown, a big play there. Another long shot along the near side for the Black Knights. Willicke working quickly, handoff to Beck, running left. Hurdles a couple of tacklers and is wrapped up on the Penn side of midfield.
Good wash there by the offensive line. I mean, it seems like every time they run back to the edge, it's an automatic 7 yards.
Again, looking back at that play from Devin Brown, that's something that Coach West talked about a lot earlier this week. The depth at the wide receiver position, so crucial. A throw over the middle. Good close at the last second appeared by Johnson, but Devin Brown, strong hands, able to hold on, and Army moves the chains once more.
Yeah, Tad, dangerous throw there, throwing it back across his body into the middle of the field, but when you have that sort of dynamic connection there, you can make it work.
Again, Willicke throwing right this time to Lawmanack. Lawmanack almost able to sneak away from the defense, but a good wrap up by Kentra, and it's 2nd down. And a good gain on 1st.
You see it again, 1st down, they're attacking the edges, they're spreading them out, getting good chunk yardage, set them up on 2nd, 3rd down.
Honestly, I think they're listening to you, Caleb. They went immediately back to what they were doing those first 2 drives. Willicke back to pass, fires one to the left side, and that one spiked in the dirt as he was hit as he threw. Looked to be Ryan Horvath who got there to bring the pressure.
Yeah, standard defensive pressure there from the linebacker. Got a hand on the ball there, knocked it down.
3rd down and 6. Ball at the Penn 36-yard line, 8.5 to go until the locker room. Willicke sidearm toss over the middle, and unable to hang on to it that time was Lawmanack, and now it's 4th down. Army is on the Penn 36-yard line, and it appears they're going to send out the punting unit and try and pin the Quakers deep inside their own territory.
Another thing they did on the first 2 drives was run the ball a little bit more. Only 1 run on that drive, especially in the opponent's territory when you're rolling like that. Maybe you want to see him run the ball a tad more.
The question to see how much run they'll give Ryan Connors at running back tonight as he's serving kicking duties today. It'll be Zach Shaver, normally an offensive lineman, to punt it away. You'll see that quite a bit in the CSFL. 2-way guys. Shaver will let it fly. Johnson will let it bounce, and it takes a bit of a sideways hop inside the 30. And will be down by the Black Knights right inside the 20-yard line.
Got a flag down in the middle of the field.
We'll see. This might have been a block in the back or a clip against Penn. Tends to be in that area. And that could push them back even further, although looked to be that they were pointing in the direction of Army.
Blindside block there.
A blindside block on the Black Knights, and that's one thing that Mark West talked earlier in the week, wanted to limit the penalties. Unfortunately, they have been a factor in the first half for the Black Knights so far tonight.
You know, personally, Justin, I'm not a fan of the blindside block. That's how I grew up watching football, and I'm sure that's how you grew up watching football as well. You know, if you don't have the spatial awareness to know somebody's coming, then you need to watch out.
All done in the name of player's safety. As Penn will have first down and 10 at their own 33-yard line. Still trying to find a way to get the offense in gear. As Goodman takes the handoff running right outside of really that one long run by J.T. Goodman in the first quarter. Army has really not allowed many chunk plays.
No, that's another big thing that Coach Sessa, the defensive coordinator, preaches, is just limiting big plays, especially off of a turnover or off of, a change of possession. That's when opposing teams like to take shots, and being disciplined enough to know that that's when those could come, and that's what you're seeing from the Army D tonight.
And they have done a marvelous job of immediately punching back and quelling any potential momentum that the Quakers could drum up. Scherer drops back, throws to the near side, and airmails one over the head of everybody. Looks like somebody from Army got a hand on it. Intended for the freshman Andy Folletta. So it'll be third down and 8. Back at the 35-yard line for Penn. Looked to be Cameron Allen, one of the gifted freshmen that made a play on the ball there.
Yeah, he's been, super impressive early on, super athletic, running to the ball, really strong as well, good player.
And 2 sacks in his collegiate debut last week at Mansfield. Army, not too many teams end up with a bye in week 1, but that was the case for the Black Knights, and that helped give these freshmen some time to continue to learn the system. As again, pressure from the D-line. This time it was Mike Sullivan who brought the pressure on Scherer, and he just had to fire that one away.
No, he hasn't had much time at all tonight, and, the Army defense starts with the defensive line. Being able to, win the game in the trenches and then be able to apply pressure to the quarterback is crucial.
And for as long as I've worked at West Point, been doing these sprint football games, there's one thing you can almost guarantee year in and year out, and that is Army having a monstrous defensive line. Deloitte will feel it on a bounce out across the 35 and crawls near the 40. And good field position for the Black Knights, with first down and just over 7 minutes to go in the first half.
I think a touchdown would be really big here for the Black Knights. Stalled on the last 3 or 4 drives or so, but getting able to put one in here, get their confidence back on track will be huge.
So we'll see what the Black Knights do here on first down. 7:04 to go in the second quarter, and something Caleb mentioned a few moments ago on the last Army possession. Seems like they've maybe gone away from the run a little bit. And speaking of which, Arthur Lavallee has come in for the first time today in the backfield. Mark West very gung-ho about his future as he takes the handoff, already throwing forearm shivers as he's out across the 40-yard line, a gain of maybe 5 on first down.
We got another flag, Justin.
Another flag in the backfield, and it's another one against the Black Knights.
Yeah, Arthur is probably the most explosive back I've seen as you see him run over our center, Alec Wells.
I was going to say, he gave a forearm shiver to the wrong guy.
He is super explosive, super powerful from the waist down, and it's really hard to bring him down.
So another penalty against West Point. And that is something that has helped Penn slow down this vaunted Black Knight attack so far this evening. First down and 20, back at the 28-yard line now. Balan in motion across the formation, left to right. One receiver to the near side, that's Brown. Handoff again to Lavallee up the middle. And a quick burst back out by the 35-yard line, about a 7 or 8 yard gain on first.
Huge hole there created by the offensive line, and they're really going tempo now.
Seems like the only thing that has stopped Army offensively tonight has been Army, as again they hand off to Lavallee trying to dance up the middle, but immediately hit Charles Takas with a stop alongside Janik, and it'll be third down and long upcoming. 6 minutes to go in the half. It'll be third down and 11.
Empty backfield for the Black Knights.
Don't see that all too often. 3 receivers to the far side. Balan in motion. They hand it off to Balan. It's going to be a running back pass. Fires it deep down the right side, and he overshot Kobe Simeon. That's the first time, I think, in my years doing sprint football that I've seen the offense go for a little bit of a trickery play like that with a running back or a wide receiver lets it fly. It's a great throw there by Balan. Just couldn't connect with Simeon down the far side.
Yeah, Balan, a former quarterback, actually, and during 7-on-7, I saw him throwing the ball 70, 75 yards, and I was very surprised and confused, but you saw the arm showcase there.
Gifted athleticism can show its way in many forms. Not only the speed for Ballon, but a gifted right arm as well, as Shaver shows off his right boot. That one taking a left-hand turn right at about the 30-yard line, maybe a yard or two inside it, where it's touchdown. Another nice punt there from Zach Shaver, who has done a nice job in the early going this year, settling in to the punting role in 2023.
Yeah, Zach Shaver and I actually went to high school together. He's a year ahead of me, but went to prep school for a year. He was all-region basketball team, super basketball player, and played defensive line for us in high school.
How cool has that been for you to get a chance to not only play with someone in high school, but get a chance to play with them here at West Point as well?
It's pretty cool. We play pickup basketball a lot in the summers, and it's always fun to score on him. He won't say that on the air, but it's a blast.
That's why Caleb's the one with the headset. Scherer rolling right, looking to run, and Braggs immediately wraps him up. No space for Scherer to work with. Dionisio was also there to bring him down. Gain of maybe one on first.
Yeah, Dionisio, a really cerebral player, going for 3 scholarships, really smart kid, and he just knows the game inside and out. He's also my roommate on road trips. He's a great guy.
So it'll be 2nd down and 8. 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Haven't seen a score since the second offensive drive for the Black Knights within the first half of the first quarter. Scherer takes the handoff to Goodman, fires it out far side, and that just sort of into no man's land. Looked to be intended towards Tom Rebstock, backup running back.
Yeah, Army sends Dionisio off the edge, applies pressure from the backside, and then Tierney's just in lock coverage on the top, and there's nothing there.
It seemed like that ball was suspended in air for an extended period of time. It was just a matter of who is going to win the race to the far sideline.
And not many people are going to beat Tierney in a race. He's a 4.5 guy, also holds the all-time record for Army power clean. He's an amazing athlete.
So you know he's going to be a strong guy if he's power cleaning among the best here on campus. Scherer back to pass hit as he throws, and it's off the left hand of Goodman and incomplete. Scherer was walloped as he let that one fly and just forced it in the direction of Goodman, hoping something would break their way. And here comes the punt team for the Quakers. 4th down and 8 from the 32.
Yeah, you can't say much more about the Army defense. I mean, again, they're just pressure on the quarterback, and they're getting off the field when they need to.
And again, Weber Carse, even if that pass completed, in a perfect spot, ready to make the play on Goodman. Montemayor will let it fly. Native of Mexico, a short punt fielded by Deloitte along the near side. Made one man miss. Deloitte lost his helmet, stays upright, and still goes forward for maybe another 5 yards.
Wow, that helmet flew a long way.
Well, we were joking earlier about the hit from James Windsor that reminded us of Jadavian Clowney. We were missing the helmet popping off, and I guess Ben Deloitte decided to take it into his own hands.
Yeah, he finished out the equation there. Here's the replay.
Except the difference was he was the one that stayed upright.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. He kind of stopped for a second. I don't know if he thought he was out of bounds or he's like, do I keep going if my helmet's off? And then he kept running.
Looked like Gavin Griswold, the man that hit him, he was unsure of whether or not to continue with the play. Looked like he stopped. And finally the play brought to an end. A 1st down and 10 for Army. Couple of ticks on their side of midfield. Willicke, quick pass to the right, finds Henry Beck with space on the Penn side of the 50 and out near the 40-yard line. Really nice 1st down draw by the Black Knight offense.
Yeah, attacking the perimeter again, and what a block by Ballon. He pushed the corner all the way into Penn's bench. You don't see that every day.
So Army 1st down and 10 on the Penn side of the 50. And it seems like, Caleb, every time Army gets the ball in the hands of Henry Beck, something good happens.
Yeah, you would not be incorrect. I mean, he's getting positive yards in every play, and a lot of the time, 7+.
Handoff to Beck again. He's got wide open spaces, barreling his way forward near the 30-yard line. Another 1st down.
Yeah, right on cue. I mean, that's 12 or so yards right at the middle. Great job by the O-line blocking it up there for him as well.
Beck, 15 carries, 128 yards last week. That's over 8 yards per touch.
That's just ridiculous.
And that'll work. Shovel pass out to Beck on the right side again, making the first two defenders miss, and then just steamrolling himself forward. Very close to the red zone, and the Black Knights another first down for the black and gold.
I think what the tough combination is he has very, very good speed, but he also runs very low to the ground and is very shifty. I used to hate practicing against him. I could never get him on the ground.
Low center of gravity for the Connecticut native. Another handoff to Beck. This time Penn plays it well, but still able to use his strong legs to push the pile forward, maybe an extra yard or two. And clearly it was an extra yard or two because he picks up the first.
Yeah, that's just old school football there, running it right up the middle, trying to overpower Penn in the center. The game has certainly opened up over the last number of years of the passing game, but when you can run the ball well like that, opens up a whole bunch on the offensive side of the ball. Swings it out to Beck on the left side, and Penn starting to get a little bit smart. The Beck-heavy offense on this drive as Horvath makes the stop. Yeah, I think that's the fifth play in a row where he has a touch. Maybe getting him a break soon here.
Timeout taken by Penn with 2:27 to go here in the second quarter. That'll be the Quakers' first charge timeout of the first half. It's interesting to see Penn make the call on the timeout there. Second down and 7 upcoming for the Black Knights.
Yeah, I just think they're trying to catch their breath a little bit. Army's going super quick and, again, hitting the perimeter, whether it's a stretch play with Beck or a swing pass to Beck. It takes a toll on the defense after a while.
Especially considering the way they have been seemingly moving Beck left and right across the formation. It seems like he's been running wide right on one play, wide left on the other. That's one way to tire out a defense mighty fast.
100%, 2:27 left to go. Hopefully the Black Knights can punch it in here.
So second down upcoming for Willicke and West Point. A rushing touchdown from Beck on the first drive. A pass from Willicke to Kobe Simeon on the second drive. And since then, a couple of turnovers and a punt. Willicke in shotgun. Second down and long. Drops back to pass. Steps up in the pocket. He's going to run with it. Makes one man miss. Continuing to power himself forward. Lowers the shoulder, and he's in for 6. Mikhail Willicke would not be denied, as on his first QB keeper of the night, the Black Knights make it a 3-score game. It's 20-zip.
Wow, I mean, Willicke showcasing his athleticism there. Saw an open hole in the middle, pulled it down and ran, juked out the linebacker in the middle of the field, and then trucked a defensive back there.
Had 5 rushing touchdowns a year ago. His first here in 2023 as Ryan Connors buries the extra point. Mikhail Willicke doing it in a number of ways on that drive through the air to his backfield mate Henry Beck, and this time saying, you know what, Henry, I can do that too. And he runs over a swarm of Penn Quakers en route to his first rushing score of the year. Great to see several of Willicke's fellow cadets out to cheer on the sprint football team today. Always great to see Trayton Thomas and the offensive line hyping up the skill position players as well after that touchdown drive. 2:17 to go until the half. 2 timeouts left for Penn. If you're Army, do you consider maybe using some timeouts defensively on this drive if Penn runs it, try and get the ball back and maybe find a way to weasel in one more score before the half?
Yeah, personally I would send pressure, make them hopefully make a rash decision, and then hopefully get the ball back on a short field.
Great juke by Johnson to make the first man miss. Out across the 30-yard line. And the Quakers will have first down with 2:07 to go in the first half.
An extra 5 seconds ticked off the clock there. He was tackled at 2:12 and the clock ran down to 2:07.
Well, home opener, first game of the season here at Shea Stadium at West Point. So the clock crew, the stat crew, also working the kinks out as well here on opening day. On the far end of post here on campus of the U.S. Military Academy. Scherer will hand it off on first down to Goodman, and Robert Braggs immediately there for the stop. Dionisio there as well to make the play. It'll be second down and long. Clock continues to run. Army in no hurry to call a timeout, at least for the moment. Could let the clock run here on first. Call timeouts after second and third. Give them one timeout to play with possession. Spread out offense for Penn. Scherer looks to pass, now keeps it, running along the near sideline, and interestingly runs out of bounds with 90 seconds to go in the half. So Army can save a timeout here, and it'll be third down and 5. And Black Knights still a full allotment of timeouts at their disposal.
Yeah, Penn got away with the hold there on Braggs on the edge. But also, you're correct, interesting decision for the quarterback to run out of bounds.
Well, I guess Scherer has been hit enough for the first 25 some odd minutes tonight that after a while, sometimes you just don't want to get hit anymore. Especially on a night like this, one of the first nights with a big chill in the air like this, especially after some rain. Those hits going to hurt a little bit more. Scherer fakes the handoff, now looking to throw, throws it down the left side and throws it away. So Penn ran the ball on first down, ran out of bounds on second, throw it away on third, and over the course of that drive, Caleb, only about 40, maybe 35 seconds coming off the clock. Army's going to have plenty of time on offense with 84 seconds to go until the break.
And they have all 3 timeouts, which is huge.
And Deloitte, who's done a real nice job on the return game so far tonight, back at the Army 35 to receive. Montemayor will let it fly. A wobbling kick. Swanson, nice job to get out of the way. And Deloitte picks it up and gains a few yards along the near sideline. And Army will take over with a minute 15 to go until the break.
Yeah, we'll get to see Army's a minute and 15-second drill here, I guess. 3 timeouts, tons of weapons. We'll see if they can put some more points on the board before halftime.
Well, we've seen a couple of long bombs work to their benefit tonight. Devin Brown and Kobe Simeon have hauled in a few. Ben Deloitte also made a nice play on a long pass earlier in this first half, too. So 75 seconds for Army to try and go 75 yards. More like 65 yards, but I wasn't a math major. Simeon across the formation, left to right. Willicke takes the handoff, throws right, got it to Lawmanack along the far side. Good tackle by Penn to keep him in bounds. Clock will continue to run with about 65 seconds to go. Second down and short.
Look for some more quick strikes here.
Army has been playing tempo pretty much all night on offense. Willicke quickly looking out to the near side, gets it in the hands of Balan. And Balan out of bounds. Clock will stop with 51 seconds to go in the half. Army moves the change, first down. The first down now at the Army 45. Brown to the near side. He's wide, Balan in the slot. Simeon out far right. They hand off to Lavallee up the middle. And Lavallee out across midfield to the Penn side of the 50. And the clock stopped with 45 seconds to go. As Army has first down at 10. Willicke rolling right, throws right, finds Lawmanack. He's pushed out of bounds inside the Penn 40-yard line.
I'm glad he got out of bounds. Cody Lawmanack usually likes to lower his shoulder instead of get out of bounds, especially on me, but smart play there to save the clock.
A different one, it's number 9 in white, I guess.
Yeah.
As opposed to the number 9 that Caleb wore in black and gold. Willicke again in shotgun. Lavallee to his left. 2 receivers either side. Willicke looking to quickly fire it out right side. A lot of space given by Ortiz to Kobe Simeon, who picks up the first down and some more. And Army continuing to move the chains. First and 10 at the Penn 35 now.
Penn has not had an answer for those quick stop routes and those quick out routes. Army's running them all game.
Army been so good. Quick short routes, quick short bursts. The Black Knights on curl and out patterns. Willicke again ready. under shotgun. Steps back, throws over the middle, and he finds his man once again. Got a man over the middle, looked to be Maurice Bellon, and Army will call timeout with 27 seconds to go in the half.
What a throw there by Willicke.
And that's just the first timeout for Army, and that's why Willicke willing to use the middle of the field there, knowing his team had 3 timeouts to work with, and Bellon able to pick up some extra yards there at the tail end too.
Yeah, Willicke pulled a Tom Brady there. You know, you hear Brady used to talk about, you know, it may look like he's throwing the ball behind Bellon there, but he's actually intentionally doing that. That way the flow from the inside, the other safety can't get a hand on the ball. Really smart play and smart throw.
Black Knights looking to make it a 4-score game going into the locker room. Army opening their season last week at Mansfield with a convincing 47-6 win. And Army, after scoring on their first 2 drives, hit a little bit of a slow patch in the middle of this first half. And the Black Knights score on their last drive and looking to make it back-to-back touchdown drives going into the locker room. First and 10 to the 25-yard line. Connors to Willicke's left. They fake the handoff. Willicke steps up, throws it deep down the right side, and he just missed his intended target. Threw it a tad bit behind Scott Belleville. Trying to maybe have a little bit of a misdirection on that route. I think some of the Penn players thought that was going to go to Simeon, who ran the shorter pattern, as Belleville sort of sweeped around him.
Yeah, Army 20 seconds here, still got 2 timeouts.
Second and 10 from the 25, just outside the red zone. Willicke fakes the handoff, under pressure, trying to get away from the white shirts, throws over the middle and dropped. It was a great idea to have an opportunity on that play to Kobe Simeon, who altered his route, cut himself over the middle, but could not hang on, and it's 3rd and 10.
So like we previously mentioned, he still got 2 timeouts, but I would consider throwing something short to the sideline here, get out of bounds, and get yourself within striking distance for either a field goal or a throw to the end zone.
From here, it would be about a 42-yard field goal attempt. Willicke looking back to the sideline for the call. 12 seconds to go here in the first half. 3rd down and 10. One receiver, that is Simeon to the far side. Bellon in motion across the formation to the right. Willicke throws it deep down the left side looking for Brown. Oh, what a catch! Devin Brown leaped over the defender and said, give me some of that. And Army takes a 27-0 lead.
What a catch. That was incredible.
Devin Brown, you talk about it on Monday Night Football where you got mossed. Well, that's exactly what Devin Brown just did to the Penn corner.
Yeah, you put that poor guy on a poster. That was that was ridiculous. And in the spring, whenever we do 7-on-7, I was actually lucky enough to play quarterback for our team, and Devin Brown was one of my receivers, and that's exactly what I did. I threw it up every single play to him, and it worked out.
The Texas native, his first touchdown of the year, the 3rd of his career, and I don't know if there's going to be one in his career that's going to be as highlight-worthy as that one. Out-dueling a jump ball against Josh Johnson. Willicke's 2nd touchdown pass of the half, and after 2 touchdowns in the first 2 drives to start the half, some parts in the middle that I'm sure Coach West and company would like to forget, but 2 touchdowns to close out the first half as well, bookending these first 30 minutes beautifully.
Yeah, you know, we talked about how flawless the execution was at the beginning, some rough patches in the middle, but the resilience to come back, especially with 1:15 left, to come down and put another touchdown on the board is massive for the offense.
Going about 65 yards in less than 75 seconds to make this a 28-0 Army lead with Connor's extra point. Johnson on the return. As the clock expires, he'll be wrapped up just shy of the 25, and that will take us to halftime here at Shea Stadium. Mikel Willicke and the Black Knights. Willicke's accounted for 3 of Army's 4 scores, 2 through the air, 1 on the ground. The Black Knights defense doing their job as well. They've pitched a shutout to the first 30 minutes. At the half here from West Point, it's Army West Point 28 and Penn nothing. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Army Sprint Football on Night Vision on YouTube.
States Military Academy, you're on the team from day one.
A team where people are the number one priority and winning matters.
A team of scholars, athletes, and leaders, each striving to become all that they can be.
Are you ready to join our team?
West Point, where leaders are made.
He may not turn out to be a black belt or play Carnegie Hall,
He'll take the chicken fingers.
but with the money you earn from your Penn Fed checking and savings accounts,
He's growing up. Look at him.
your goal of supporting his dreams will always be worth it.
I got it.
PennFed's got great rates for everyone.
Meet the Chevy ZR2 family. They'll never let you down. With features like DSSV dampers, MT tires, and an off-road performance display. When the going gets tough, it's a family you can count on. Introducing the Silverado, Colorado, and Silverado HD ZR2 family of trucks.
USAA? Yeah. They have awesome rates on coverage for our car, home, and stuff. She has a lot of stuff.
Dad.
A lot of cool stuff, honey. But USAA also has banking, credit cards, and loans. Plus advice and other perks.
Only for emergencies. Thanks, Mom.
And it's all in one spot. So we know she's all set because we've got USAA.
USAA, more than you might think, for the military community and their families.
Welcome back to Shea Stadium. At the half, Army a 28-0 lead over Penn. Black Knights a dominant first 30 minutes of play here tonight. Rushing touchdown to start from Henry Beck. Pass from Mikkel Willicke to Kobe Simeon made it 14-0 in the first. And as well, in the second quarter, the Black Knights getting a long touchdown run from Willicke to make it a 21-0 game. And then the play of the first half so far tonight, Caleb, has been this catch by Devin Brown that closed out the first half and made it a 28-0 game.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's going to be shown around the facility a little bit next week. You don't see those type of plays every day, and it's just pure athleticism, going and getting the ball, high pointing it, and making a play.
You see all the players coming over to congratulate Devin after that catch. What's it like on the sidelines after you or your teammates make a play like that?
Oh, it's super fun. You know, it's one of the best feelings in the world. You try not to celebrate too much on the field, and you run off, and then everybody greets you and jumps you. It's a blast.
And one other thing before we send it back to break. We talked a bit about it during the first half, but Caleb, the Army defense just been outstanding to the point where Penn really has had nowhere and no real opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, they're just pressuring the quarterback, making them throw it up, and you know, they don't have many positive plays at all. It's what the Army defense does.
75-6 is what Army is outscoring their opponents for the first 6 quarters of play this year. At the half, it's Army 28, Penn nothing. You're watching Sprint Football on Night Vision from YouTube.
Very good, very good.
That's what we call United States Military Academy.
Welcome back out to Shea Stadium. Beautiful skies here on campus of the U.S. Military Academy. Cotton candy skies, as the late great Vince Scully would describe them, off the foothills of Bear Mountain on the banks of the Hudson River. Welcome back to Shea Stadium. At the half, Army a 28-0 lead over the Penn Quakers, as the Black Knights a dominant first 30 minutes of play. Let's take a look back at the first half highlights here today. Black Knights taking the field with fervor, and that carried over immediately. Henry Beck on the opening drive of the game, able to power it in from 5 yards out, gave the Black Knights a 7-0 lead. Then on the following drive, Kobe Simeon, a great catch on third down to help make it a 14-0 game, and then it was turnovers. Turnover there from Seth Brown on a fumble, but the Black Knight defense just continued to make plays regardless of whether or not it was a short field. That was a somewhat of a harbinger of things to come, with a great catch by Devin Brown. Ben Deloitte hitting people so hard he's losing his helmet. And then the offense went right back into full swing in the tail end of the second quarter. And it was one of these plays. Mikel Willicke faked the pass, takes it himself, and stumbling his way into the end zone. His first rushing touchdown of the year made it a 21-0 lead for the Black Knights. And then Penn went 3 and out, and that set up this. Willicke to Devin Brown, already the leader in the clubhouse for catch of the year in the CSFL. Mossing Josh Johnson to make it a 28-0 advantage at the half. And Army was already feeling good, up by 3 scores, but hard to be going into the break with any more momentum than the reaction after that catch by Brown to close out the halves.
Yeah, and you know, if you're Army, you want to try to put this thing away as quickly as possible. You want to keep pouring it on, keep scoring touchdowns, and if you're the defense, just keep doing what you're doing. Applying pressure to the quarterback and covering good on the back end. That's all you can do.
You look at the first half in terms of stats. We'll flash those on your screen for you in just a matter of moments. But Army has outgained Penn in the first half 264-8. 264-8 so far in this ball game. And I think the best example, Caleb, of how good Army has been, forget the offensive side of the ball, on defense, Ty Scherer, the quarterback for Penn, 2 of 10 in the first half, completed half as many passes to Army as he did to his own team through the first 30 minutes of this ball game. It was tough for Penn through the first 30 minutes offensively.
Yeah, Coach Sessa preaches, yards are personal and points are non-negotiable, and that's kind of the message we grew up with, and the guys take that to heart. So don't want to give up any yards and definitely not any points.
Well, that message has been resonating with this defense for years, and it has shown itself through the first 30 minutes tonight. At the break, Army 28, Penn nothing. We'll take a break for just a matter of moments. You're watching Sprint Football on Night Vision from YouTube. Second half about to get underway here from Shea Stadium at chilly West Point, New York. Right now, temperatures in the mid-50s. Right now, 55 degrees. But the rain that had been terrorizing the tri-state area all day today has subsided. We've been dry throughout the course of tonight. Army received the opening kickoff. Penn won the coin toss, deferred it to the second half. So they will take the ball to start the second half alongside former Army sprint football safety Caleb Self. I'm Justin Rock. Happy to have you with us here on this Friday night. Home opener for the Black Knights, and Caleb, with Penn getting the ball to receive the second half, if you're the Quaker offense, what's the message taking the field to start the second half of 30 minutes?
I think little victories are important. Getting positive yardage on every play, or at least trying to, is important. Maybe at halftime I would have talked about some different protection packages to try to combat the Army pass rush. Other than that, I don't know if there's a whole lot that they can do. This Army defense has experience, and even though there's some new guys in there, they're super tough.
Well, Johnson on the return took it out to about the 35-yard line, but a flag is down. Army was called for 4 flags in the first half for 35 yards compared to just 1 penalty in the first half for Penn.
It'll be worse than 10 for the University of Pennsylvania.
I just tried to move it and it froze up.
There was a flag down. Officials still discussing over the far side, but they might be picking the flag up because the ball is not moving in any direction. And a targeting call against the Black Knights. Someone was just called for targeting, and as is the case everywhere else, you see it in D1 football, you see it in the NFL. And that player has been ejected for the remainder of the ball game.
And not only that, that can affect next week's game against Navy. He's going to have to miss the first half.
The very first play of the second half. Not entirely sure who was the aggrieved party there.
I think it may have been number 33, sophomore safety Evan Sawyer.
So Army will be down 1 on the defensive side of things, but Penn's first play from scrimmage in the second half is vaguely similar to what we saw in the first half. A handoff and a cloud of dust. As JT Goodman had a really nice run in the first quarter, but since then Army's defense has been a brick wall. No gain on first down. It'll be second down and 10. Was a really tough first half for Ty Scherer. 2 of 10 for 8 yards and 1 interception. Scherer in shotgun, handoff to the man coming across the formation to his left. That is Rebstock. And Rebstock tries to make a move to the near side and is swallowed up by the belly of the Army defense.
You know, initially it looked like he had space there, but Sullivan set the edge, made him cut back, and then the pursuit of the Army defense cleaned him up. Great job by Sullivan there, setting the edge.
As soon as there was an opening, there wasn't, as the Black Knight defense immediately swarming to the football. And it'll be third down and long. Penn 0 of 6 on third down in the first half. Scherer in shotgun, Goodman to his right. Cole, the lone receiver, to the near side. They fake the handoff, running right, running for his life, able to get it over to Herzog, and guess who? It's Luke Gelati over to race and make the play. Actually, it wasn't. It was Weber Carsey was also there to make the play. Beautifully done by the linebackers.
Right as he turns around, he has 2 guys in his face. He's scrambling for his life, throws it across the middle, and then we saw a play eerily similar to that in the first half. Linebackers just tackling an open field.
And that's got to be so demoralizing for an offense, because everything about the setup of that play looked beautiful. As the punt away from Montemayor, a short return for the Black Knights along the far side. But as soon as Herzog caught that ball, you thought, okay, maybe there's some room to run. And then before you could even turn your head around, there's Weber Carsey ready to bring the play to a halt.
Yeah, speed kills. Being able to close gaps like that is something we teach. Do tackling drills every single day, and being able to, track down ball carriers is huge, especially in open space.
May not always get the most publicity, get the most highlight cuts, good form tackles, but good football teams, they win because they have guys who can do that consistently and effectively.
100%.
So Army, their first possession of the second half. It'll be Seth Brown to take over under center. He rolls right, throws over the middle, and the pass tipped and incomplete. He's trying to get it to Matthew Tilley. It looked to be maybe the linebacker, Gavin Griswold. Josh Johnson also there on the coverage.
Yeah, pretty good pass break up there. Closed on the ball, got his hand in there, and knocked the pass down.
Brown, 3 of 5 through the air against Mansfield last week. Did throw a touchdown pass. Did a really nice job last year serving as Willicke's backup as well. The senior from Madison, Alabama. A handoff up the middle, breaking several tackles is the youngster, the freshman Arthur Lavallee, as he brings bodies with him for a first down. That was someone that Mark West was glowing about. He's asking, is there anyone that's sort of burst on the scene this year? And he did not hesitate to mention Arthur Lavallee.
Yeah, runs super hard, and he hits the hole super hard as well, just like we just saw.
We'll get another handoff to Lavallee up the middle. And he picks up a short gain on the play. It'll be second down right around the 40-yard line. More than 3 minutes gone by here in the second half. Actually, it's first down and 10 of the 37. Brown, handoff, running left along the far side, Lavallee. And he's wrapped up there by Matt Kentra, the defensive back. It is third down for the Black Knights. Scoreboard out there on the far side, moving. Army offense moving so fast the scoreboard can't keep up. A handoff up the middle on third down and short. Army will pick up the first down as Lavallee moves the sticks.
Good hard run there. Did what he needed to do to get the first down.
Lavallee, the first person from Peabody Magnet High School in Louisiana to be accepted here at West Point in over 30 years, making an impact both in the classroom and on the gridiron. As that ball tipped and nearly ricocheted into the hands of Matthew McGettigan, who was leaking out along the far sideline. Wasn't the intended receiver on the play. A good job to be aware of the ball nearby, although it falls incomplete.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see Army's strategy here. Do we want to ground and pound, or we want to spread it out like the first half? We haven't seen many perimeter plays to start yet.
Spreading the ball around, trying to give Seth Brown his opportunities under center. In shotgun rolls right, tries to throw back to his left, but the Penn defense was ready for it. Hands up, knocks it down, intended for McGettigan. And it'll be third down and long for the Black Knights right around midfield.
And I'll tell you what, it's a good thing they knocked that screen down because there was a lot of space on the far side of the field there.
Maybe a extra long fingernail saving a large chunk of yardage. Might be a free play for Army. Looked like somebody was offsides for Penn, but the Quakers get a sack, and I don't see a flag. Looked like somebody jumped early on the line, but they do not get the call to the Black Knights, and Army will be forced to punt.
Well, maybe they're evening it up from the false start they didn't call in the first half, and we had a big play to Deloy because they definitely had someone in the neutral zone there.
Certainly looked like somebody in the middle was a tad bit early. That close shot on our screen was one that proved it. So Zach Shaver will punt it away on Army's first possession of the half, a wobbling end-over-end kick. And this will roll, takes a big Army bounce, and will end up inside the 20-yard line. What a punt from Zachary Shaver. Your team's offensive lineman could never. And Army will be back on defense as Penn has first down at their own 19-yard line.
Yeah, Zach Shaver's not your typical offensive lineman, 6'5", super lanky, and he does 360 dunks like they're nothing, so he's also a great athlete and showcasing it there with his leg.
An Army family from Salado, Texas. So Scherer and the Quaker offense back to work deep inside their own territory. Handoff up the middle. Goodman made Sullivan miss. Actually, that's Rebstock on the carry. Weber Carsey wouldn't let him get out of his grasp. Short gain on first down for Penn.
The second defense is coming in now.
So Army's starters getting a breather here. We'll see how long the Black Knights roll with this defensive unit.
You got two Texas kids, number 23, Trey Batson from Argyle, and then number 26, J.D. Sparks from Southlake, both freshmen, very talented kids.
J.D. Sparks, someone Mark West was glowing about in our phone call earlier this week. Scherer fakes the handoff, rolls out right, being chased by Allen, flings it over the middle, and it's nearly picked off by the man you just mentioned. It was Trey Batson who came over and very nearly came away with his first career interception.
Yeah, we'll have to have a talk about that drop at practice, but great job covering all the way down the field, all the way across the field as well. Super, super excited about this kid as well.
Dangerous pass there from Scherer, and not just a product of running for his life, as Cameron Allen, the gifted freshman from North Carolina, had him running for dear life. 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Army in control, 28-0. Black Knights home opener. Caleb Self joining me. I'm Justin Rock. Happy to have you with us on this Friday night. Scherer back to pass on third down and long. Has some time. Pocket beginning to collapse and then just flings it into the Army bench. That might have been as well as the pocket has held up tonight for Penn. And when the offensive line is able to do its job, the Army defensive backs are like a blanket.
Yeah, you don't hear about the defensive backs too much, and that's usually a good thing. That means the defensive line and the linebackers are doing their jobs.
So Penn will punt it away. There'll be another one for Montemayor. Almost hiked it over his head and nearly blocked, but able to get a decent enough punt away. But it does take a wide left turn and may have rolled out before midfield. So a good recovery by Montemayor, as it came very close to being a block punt there from Brandon Castro, who was sneaking in along the far side. So Army first down at 10 on offense. See if Seth Brown comes back out to work on the offensive side of things. And indeed it will be Mr. Brown. Continuing to stay under center for the Black Knights. And a fantastic career at St. John Paul II Catholic in Alabama. Was actually originally a running back on this Sprint football roster, and makes the pass out to the far side. Plenty of room to run, and carrying people with him along the far side is Arthur Lavallee, proving he not only can run it, but he is a threat as a pass catcher out of the backfield as well.
Yeah, and he's the guy you're going to have to pack your lunch if you want to bring him down. He's extremely hard to tackle as well.
Seems like he's learned a lot from the guys above him, Connors and Beck. Brown running for his life. He's tripped up. The ball came out, but it was after Brown was down. Scored that a sack for Penn. It's their second tonight defensively. Good pressure off the far end. And Brown just could not find a way to get away as a shoestring tackle creates the sack. So it'll be second down and 17 for Army. Back at the Penn 42-yard line. Three receivers out to the far side. Man motions out of the backfield. Brown throws near side to Tilley. And Tilley out over the 40. Brought down maybe a hair shy of the 35-yard line. A gain of about 7 or 8. To bring up third and long.
Nice play call there. Tunnel screen to Tilley. Made something happen after he had the ball in his hands. Got some yards, and now some more manageable third down here.
Another Louisiana native on the Sprint football roster. Army looking back to the bench for the signals. Ahead of third down and 11. Play clock at 15. Plenty of time for Brown. Takes the snap, bobbles a little bit, drops back, throws near sideline, looking for a man, and it's incomplete for Belleville, but that's going to be pass interference.
Yeah,
clear as day.
He held his jersey all the way. Pretty obvious. Good job, good throw by Seth there as well.
It was a good throw by Seth, and was a great opportunity there for Belleville. This is a great shot by our cameraman on the near side. You could see it right there, even though it was only a short snippet, but you could see the hook of the collar by number 23, Kentra. Really one of the only mistakes we've seen from him so far tonight. Junior from Illinois has been very impressive, although I'm not sure what the delay is with the call. Flag came out immediately from the near side. Maybe where the spot of the ball will be, where the penalty occurred. No matter what's going to be an automatic first down for West Point. and they're going to spot it at about the 18.
Another red zone chance here for the Black Knights for this second offense here, see if they can punch it in.
Army in the first half, when they got in the red zone, they were a perfect 3 of 3. And the first 30 minutes so far today. Clock stopped at 7:13, and they continue to discuss along the near side, I guess, about where the football should be spotted. And now another 2 officials discussing. Maybe about dinner reservations, although it's getting a little bit late to find a table, not only here in West Point, but in the greater Highland Falls area.
Yeah, there's not many good places to eat either, so I don't know what they're talking about.
All the good ones have found a way to close up shop here tonight, as that pass to the near side for Tilly a bit long. Reminds me of one of my favorite moments of working minor league baseball during the offseason, or during the non-collegiate season as a Penn player down on the near side. We had a guy named Blade Tidwell, was a great pitcher, one of the Mets' top prospects, pitching in Brooklyn throughout the course of the year, gets promoted to Double-A Binghamton at the tail end of the season. And one of the first questions he's asked is, what's the adjustment like to Binghamton, New York? It's been great. Baseball's a little bit better. Makes sense going from high A to Double-A. More food options is what he said in Binghamton, New York, than in Brooklyn and New York City.
I don't know about that. I've only driven through Binghamton to go to the PGA Championship, but there wasn't much there, at least from the road.
Maybe more Burger Kings, maybe more McDonald's. That's about it. But certainly not the case, as they continue to discuss congregation for the officials along the near side, just inside the 20-yard line where the ball is spotted.
Yeah, they must be hungry.
Well, you figure if they were hungry, they would try to hurry this up. Running clock. Evidently not the case. Now the referee and one of the other officials working their way along the far side and maybe talking to the Penn coaching staff.
I know there was a flash flood watch. Maybe they're trying to get the roads clear before Penn heads back. I can't think of anything much else at this point.
And they come over to talk to Jerry McConnell, the head coach for the Quakers. Not really entirely certain what this is in reference to. Scott Belleville's got his arms at his side. He doesn't understand. Where's the Jeopardy music? Well, whatever it is, they're having a good laugh about it over the far sideline.
She got up there and she slammed the ball right.
And it's got to be something in relation to where the football should be spotted after the pass interference call, but there's already been a play that's been run since the pass interference call, which would negate where the ball could be moved to.
I know you're not a math major, and I'm definitely not a math major, but it's only 15 yards from the previous spot, so I don't know what the big talk is about here.
Maybe there's an issue with the clock. Maybe they just don't want to go home. Brown back to pass. He fires it deep down the right side, looking for Belleville, bobbled and falls incomplete. Good coverage that time along the near side by Jacob Rios.
Really good coverage. Didn't turn around and then put his hands right in Scott's chest right when the ball was thrown. Wheeler out by Belleville, couldn't convert.
Rios from the Woodlands, Texas, same high school. Woodlands Christian Academy, his fellow sprint football or opposing sprint football offensive lineman Jack Van Til. Also, same high school alma mater as Army men's basketball Chance Perkins. Brown spinning, throws over the middle. He's got a man over the middle out across the 10-yard line. And it'll be a good chunk there for DeAndre Brunings. His first opportunity here this afternoon. And it'll be fourth down and inches upcoming. Oh, they do change it. It was a 4 on the far chain. But they do change it to a first down, and the Black Knights convert. That was a really nice play design there, with Brown spinning and still able to know where Brunings was in the middle of that defense.
Yeah, Seth Brown has great awareness. That's one of his best qualities as a quarterback, and he showcased it there.
6:20 to go. First down and goal from the 7. Brunings takes the handoff, running left, trying to turn the corner, and it's just tripped up inside the 5-yard line. Brunings, much like Scott Belleville, a guy who can line up as a wideout or can be stationed in the backfield as a single setback. Part of the versatility that this Army offense enjoys from so many different players.
Yeah, and even Seth at quarterback, I mean, another super dynamic guy that can make things happen in space.
Brown fakes the handoff to Brunings. Good block by Brunings. Rolling right, throws low, intended for Tilley. And that'll set up third down and goal from the 5. Really good block there by the running back Brunings, as a man came off the edge to the near side for Penn. Something that I've grown to appreciate more as I've gotten older. Running backs who can really block well out of a shotgun, like you saw there from Brunings.
I think the quarterbacks appreciate it too.
I've watched enough Jet quarterbacks get sacked over my 31 years. Grown to appreciate those things. Jump ball near side, and this time Johnson's up to the task. Johnson had been mossed in the first half on the great catch by Devin Brown. But this time Johnson, good job to stay with it. Got a right hand in front and knocked away that touchdown pass intended to the near side.
Yeah, I got to give it to him. The Penn defensive backs had a nice series there. I mean, several pass breakups from Brown to numerous receivers.
So it'll be Ryan Connors for his first career field goal attempt. Tilley will be the man to hold. Should be about a 22-yard try from the far hash. Connors lets it go, and the kick is up, and it is good. Ryan Connors, running back in your media guide, but getting it done in the kicking game as well. His first career field goal makes it 31-0 Army with 5:28 to go in the third quarter. Talking about that next man up mentality, Connors has done a marvelous job tonight in the kicking game.
Yeah, the entire special teams for Army right now is not the original guy. I mean, the punter is Shaver and then kicker's Connors, but, you know, that's the versatility you're talking about as well.
And both Connors and Shaver, for that matter, the few times he's been tasked upon to punt it away today, have done outstanding jobs. Shaver a punt inside the 20, and Connors has not missed. And he will kick it away now. Back on the other end of the field. It's got to be such an encouraging thing for a coaching staff here. Main kicker not available. As sure enough, as soon as we compliment Ryan, the kickoff goes out of bounds. So Ryan can take that up with me next week as the announcer's jinx is alive and well. Please, Connors family, take my sincerest apologies. As Penn will have good field position to start with 5:28 to go in the third. It'll be first down and 10 from their own 35-yard line. And if that's the worst thing that happens with Ryan Connors in the game today, I'm sure he'll be happy.
Yeah, Ryan's got a really good head on his shoulders. He's a civil engineering major, super smart, and also is, relies on his faith a lot when he plays. He's a really fun guy to be around. Contagious spirit for sure.
And that kind of mentality, that kind of character always seems to be a huge benefit for a team throughout the course of a game. There's so many highs and lows. To have that energizer bunny to hype everybody up, so vital, as Goodman doing everything he can to push himself forward. And he'll pick up a small gain on first down. Army just has not, outside of that one run by Goodman in the first quarter, there have been no running lanes for Goodman or anyone else for the Quakers tonight.
No, absolutely not. There's severe depth with the Army defense as well, as you're seeing now.
And on the other side, a Penn team that has certainly been banged up and just does not have the sheer numbers roster-wise that the Black Knights do. Scherer fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, and gets sacked anyway. Goes down in a heap in the backfield. Faked the handoff, but Army was not fooled at all as they come up with a sack.
Yeah, great play there. Several guys in the backfield again. Some misdirection. The Black Knights didn't fall for it and made the sack.
Beautifully done That's something that has to be a credit to the Black Knights coaching staff and the players themselves. The patience and the intelligence to make the right reads on plays like that. Scherer in shotgun, fakes the handoff to Goodman. Rolling left, being chased along the near side, trying to run for it, and is thrown down well short of the line to gain. Number 99 making the play. That is Thomas Golio, the freshman from Sayville, New York. And it'll be 4th down. And a good chunk up coming for Penn with 3.5 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, it's nice to see freshmen running around on the field and making plays. Golio is a team favorite, really funny guy, and great play there.
And 3 tackles in his debut last week against Mansfield. As that punt for Montemayor will ricochet out along the near side with 3:18 to go. Army will take over a 31-0 lead here over Penn. And with Seth Brown running the offense the last couple of drives, have to imagine, especially with Willicke throwing 31 passes in the first half, might be the last time we've seen the starters on the offensive side of the ball tonight.
I think you'd be correct. You know, big game next week. You want to make sure they're rested for it. And while they had some issues in the intermediate drives, they started and finished really well, and that's definitely encouraging for next week.
Certainly ups and downs throughout the course of the game tonight, but overall it has been a strong showing for the black and gold as Brown on the keeper up the middle. Maybe a small gain on that play, but if you're your coaching staff on that near sideline right now, have to be very pleased at how the squad has played today, especially considering the game ahead next week against Navy, the Star game. The squad not looking ahead too much to the big task at hand next week.
No, you know, the coaching staff really preaches week to week, focus on your job and what you can do to make the team win for that week. But, you know, it's definitely on the guys' minds for sure.
Lavallee going to the far side. Bring up 3rd down and medium along the far side. About 3rd and 4 from the Army 35-yard line. And one of the things that I've loved, next week's game will not be here at Shea Stadium. It will be at the big stadium on the other end of campus, right by Stony Lonesome Gate, as this one shoveled out to the near side. Looks like it'll be a couple yards short of the 1st down. Lavallee on the carry there. Yeah, very close to the marker. It looks like it will be a 1st down for the Black Knights. So Lavallee doing an excellent job picking up those extra yards to move the chains. But last year, game against Alderson Brodus has started up a new tradition, or sort of bringing back an old tradition, I think, for Sprint football. And playing at Mikey Stadium, that'll be where the Army-Navy game is next week. Caleb, you had a chance to play in that game against Alderson Brodus last year. What was that like for you and your team, and how excited and how exciting is it to be able to play at Mikey Stadium and start to create that tradition again?
It's cool because mostly we play at pretty small stadiums. Shea's small, but when we play Navy, usually it's at their big Marine Corps stadium. So it'll be cool to host them there for sure.
Brown rolling near side, throws over the middle, and he's got his man. Complete to Matthew Tilley along the near side. Nice curl route. And Brown, after a bumpy start when he came on in the 2nd quarter, has really settled in nicely for the Black Knights under center.
Yeah, and going back to the game at Mikey, it seems like they schedule games where there's lots of family that can attend. Navy, and then last year was on Columbus Day weekend, so it's cool when you can fill up the stands as much as you can.
Absolutely, and a cool treat not only for the Black Knight players, but the opposing side as well. There are a few more historic stadiums in college football these days than Mikey Stadium up the road. One of the more scenic and beautiful places to watch a college football game or any sporting event. You want to come out in the spring and check out the lacrosse teams who always draw well at Mikey Stadium as well. If you haven't come out on the campus here at West Point, whether you're a parent or a fan of West Point or maybe someone on the Penn side as well, I've always said if you're a fan of American history, and just beautiful landscapes, come take a visit here to West Point, and honestly visit all 3 of the military academies. 3 of the most beautiful campuses in the country. Another great punt there from Zachary Shaver. Down at the 16-yard line. Second straight punt for Shaver down inside the 20-yard line. And if you're Mark West, you got to be wondering, where has this guy been, my Penton unit, over the last couple of years? He has done a spectacular job tonight.
Yeah, he sure has.
Well, doing double duty as a starting offensive lineman for one of the best offenses in the country.
Yeah, and I would say West Point's definitely a tier above the other academies in terms of beauty. That's just coming from me, though.
I've just been lucky that I've been able to get a chance to experience it all at the different academies, but there is nothing quite like coming home here to West Point. As Dylan Dennis back on the roster this year, did not play on the team last year. But had been his freshman and sophomore campaigns, makes the stop. And that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. Minimal gain and no gain, as a matter of fact, on that first down play. And Penn will have second down and 10 at their own 16 when we come back to start the final stretch of 15 minutes. It has been all Black Knights all evening long through 3 quarters. It's Army 31 and Penn nothing. You're watching CSFL football on Night Vision from YouTube.
But I can't say enough about the defense, the coaching staff, and the work the kids put in and week out to, get results like that.
Especially when they're missing a stalwart in the defensive secondary and a guy like Caleb Self. As a false start call will go against Penn. And that'll make it a little more tricky on 3rd down and 8. Just the second penalty against the Quakers so far tonight. Actually, rather the third. Second was that pass interference penalty that helped set up the field goal in the third. But looking ahead, as Caleb and I mentioned earlier, Army will be at home against Navy next weekend. Make sure to come out. It'll be a 7 o'clock start at Michie Stadium next Friday, October the 6th. Make sure to come on out to Post. Get here early. The star game between Army and Navy, one of the highlights of the fall schedule every year, as this one flung deep down the far side. Receiver falls down, and a pass overthrew everybody for quite a bit. And very frustrated along the far side is Andy Folletta, the man who fell down. That just an instance where he just got tripped up by himself. No real contact from the defensive back.
No, Batson was in great coverage there. He had him locked down. If the throw was better, honestly, he probably would have gotten picked off.
You can see Folletta very frustrated on the far side. Maybe thought he was contacted. On this punt, let go there by Montemayor. Bobbled a little bit there. Looked to be on the return that time, Cade Patton. But Patton able to hop back on top of it and prevents disaster. And Army will take over on their own side of the 50-yard line. 13 minutes to go here on this Friday night. As we mentioned, Army at home next weekend against Navy. Penn on the other side of the coin. They have off next week. Next week, their bye week. They will be back at home against St. Thomas Aquinas on Friday, October the 13th at 7 o'clock in Philadelphia. Interesting schedule this year in the CSFL. Look at Army's league games this year, as it is the home debut of one of West Point's own, Kyle West, as his pass deflected at the line and incomplete. Everyone acting as if it was a fumble just in case, but the officials immediately waving the ball dead, incomplete. So on to make his Shea Stadium debut as a collegiate player is Kyle West. Kyle, a freshman from right here in Fort Montgomery, New York. And for those of you wondering at home, yes, he is indeed the son of head coach Mark West. His older brother Keegan, one of the all-time great quarterbacks, just like his dad Mark. As a handoff up the middle to Brunings, doesn't go much of anywhere. It'll be 3rd down and long upcoming for the Black Knights, but Caleb, Kyle continuing the long gray line for the West family, and did a marvelous job in his debut last week, 8 for 12.
Yeah, he's a real talented kid. He used to come in and play 7-on-7 against us, and I didn't know who he was at first, but he was dotting us up pretty good, and I was like, nah, I figured out who it was after a while.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Wearing number 10, his older brother Keegan wore number 11 when he was the signal caller here at West Point. Looks left, throws left. There's his first home completion. It's to Scott Belleville. Won't be a gain of much. As back to the line of scrimmage for Belleville. And that'll bring up 4th down and long. And out comes Zach Shaver and the punting unit for the Black Knights.
4th down for the Black Knights.
Top of the 9 o'clock hour here in the East. Caleb Self accompanying myself, Justin Rock, Josh Johnson back to receive for the Quakers. Happy to have you with us on this Friday night. Army a 31-0 lead. Shaver get another punt. This a high spiraling kick. This one will again take an Army bounce, a really good Army bounce, inside the 15-yard line, where it will be down, I believe that time, by William French, the linebacker. That is a 3rd punt tonight from Shaver, inside the 20-yard line.
I haven't seen many people get better bounces than he does. I'm going to have to figure out what he does after the game because, I mean, it seems like every punt gets an extra 10, 15 yards and roll.
Penn players content to let that ball bounce. Ends up working against him. So Scherer back under center. He'll start the drive at his own 10-yard line. Looking to string together a drive to break up the shutout as a handoff up the middle. And Goodman gets knifed down rather quickly. Coming in like a speeding bullet was Lou Petkus. 5 tackles, including half a sack last year. Another Texas native, high school teammates with one of the freshmen on this squad, J.D. Sparks.
Yeah, Southlake's a powerhouse high school near Dallas. Really good. They're usually, if they're not in the state championship game, they're right around there.
One of the powerhouses in the Lone Star State. So it'll be 2nd down and 7 from the 13. 10:42 to go here in the 4th quarter. Scherer on the handoff near side, and Goodman spun down after a short gain. Petkus again in the neighborhood. Cameron Allen also there on the tackle as well. And also got to be demoralizing for an opponent when the first team defense comes out and Army's second team defense, you could argue, better than some first team defenses in the CSFL. The talent is that deep.
Yeah, our defensive back coach, Coach Lynch, always says, you know, I want the best secondary in the league to be our 1s, the second best secondary in our league to be the 2s, and the third best to be the 3s. And, you know, we carry that mentality throughout the rest of the position groups as well.
And that mentality carrying over when the second unit took the field here tonight. As Scherer running, trying to get it away, and we'll see where that one is ruled. That might be a sack, that might be an incomplete pass, but what it was Jake Oxendine pummeling the quarterback Scherer, and it will indeed be a sack for Oxendine. That is the first of his collegiate career. Jake Oxendine, a native of Virginia, coming up with a big play, and once again, Penn has to bring out the punting unit.
Congrats to Ox. Cool moment to get his first sack in his first home game. And, you know, it's just more pressure from the Army defense. We've seen that all night.
It's a 31-0 game. There's 9.5 minutes to go. And based on the reaction from Oxendine, you wouldn't know if it was nothing or 31-0. And that's the kind of mentality that leads to this kind of success, as Patton on the return. And it's going to be a illegal block on the return that time from Army, trying to find a way to convince the officials that was a legal block was Trey Batson. But Army will be backed up 10-15 yards on a clip. So Kyle West and the Black Knights back out to work here with 9:14 to go. As the second and third string unit getting some extra playing time here.
Wait, did Kyle do anything different?
That's one thing that happens from time to time. As we saw last week, a 47-6 win for Army Sprint football at Mansfield. And here's a block in the back against the Black Knights. That will back up the Cadets here with 9:14 to go. But it's got to be such a huge benefit for the second and third string players for them to be able to receive as much playing time as they do throughout the course of the season. So when they become the number ones, they've got the playing time and experience necessary.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, ideally, if the ones do their job, then the twos and threes you get in, and then by the time they're ones, they're ready to go.
West spinning, throws it back to the right side. He's got Tilley, has one man to beat. Tilley up along the far sideline and is brought down by Montemayor, who saved the touchdown. Oh, that was very nearly the very first career touchdown pass for Kyle West, but a lot of that beautiful running from Matthew Tilley on a beautiful play call.
Yeah, I was about to say that beautiful play call screen on the backside, turning around. No one expected it. It's wide open.
Second time that play's worked in this half as the ball is loose, picked up by Penn. It's a fumble recovery for the Quakers. Griswold, I believe, the man who picked it up, and he is spun down just shy of the Army 40-yard line. The third turnover tonight for the Black Knights offense. And Gavin Griswold was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, that ball shot out right to him. Let's see if the Army defense can tighten up here. Keep the goose egg on the board.
First turnover for the Black Knights since the second quarter. And now Penn's offense back to work in plus territory. First time they've been on this side of the field in the second half. 8.5 to go. Ball at the Army 42. Scherer, handoff, running it to the right is Goodman. I think the original play was to go left. Actually, that is Rebstock, not Goodman on the carry. Regardless, whoever it is, they went backwards, and it's second down and long.
Yeah, nice tackle there by Peckhis. Filling the hole and getting in the backfield.
The play was for Rebstock to run left, but there was nowhere to go left. Decided to change direction to the right-hand side and ended up being whipped down with a loss. So a 3-yard loss on the play. It'll be second down and 13 from the Army 45, under 8 minutes to go. One receiver to the near side and a whistle and a false start against Penn. That'll be their third penalty here in the second half. And second and 13 now becomes second and 18. And they're back at midfield.
Yeah, one thing we were talking about, trying to get points on the board and getting small victories. Penalties are kind of the antithesis to that. You can't keep going backwards.
Penn, a team that came into play today averaging almost 243 yards of offense per game this year through their first two contests. They will fall well short of that here tonight, barring a legendary final 7.5 minutes, as Rebstock just trying to do anything he can to pick up a gain on the play. Cameron Allen was having none of it. And Allen seems to be a little bit worse for wear, favoring that left leg as he comes off towards the near side. Robert Braggs will come on to take over, and hopefully nothing more than a cramp for Allen. Good leadership from James Windsor, coming out to the field to help Allen back over to the sideline before Penn can snap the ball. Third down and 15 at the Army 47. Scherer fakes the handoff, again running for dear life. Out to the near side, throws it over to the far side. Did he make the catch in bounds? That's the question, and he did. Andy Valletta, the biggest pass play of the night for the Quakers, and they convert their first third down, and they'll have first down just outside the Army 25-yard line.
Yeah, good throw and even better catch. I think he got both feet down on the sideline there. Good body control making the catch.
And Valletta, a South Jersey native at a Southern Regional High School, was unable to haul in a long pass earlier in the half, but able to make a big play there on third and long. Penn trying to break up the shutout with 6 minutes to go. Penn in motion across the formation. That's Herzog. Scherer on a keeper. Has a block to the left side. He's out across the 10 and runs out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Will be first and goal upcoming for Penn. Best run of the day for Ty Scherer as well. best series of plays for the Quakers all night long. It'll be actually spotted at the 11-yard line, and you could argue that's better for Penn. Gives them an opportunity to move the sticks by getting to the first or to the 1-yard line.
Yeah, good point there. Penn can use this drive for some confidence going into the bye week, knowing that they do have the ability to make some plays.
We're able to create 3 turnovers on defense so far tonight. Herzog in motion across the formation. Back to pass Scherer. He's going backwards, rolling right, chased by Braggs, throws to the 10-yard line, and a diving catch is made there by Hudson Friedman. His first catch of the night, but no gain on the play. It'll be second down.
Looks like they missed a hold there again on Braggs. It's like the 3rd time he's gotten held with no call.
So it'll be second down. 8 yards to go. Ball spotted right at the 10-yard line. Under 5 to go now. Penn knocking on the door. First red zone opportunity tonight. Rebstock running left. Gets the corner and is hit at inside the 5, trying to lower his shoulder to the goal line, and is down at the 1. A big run there from Tom Rebstock, and they will get to the 1-yard line to move the chains and a first down. And first and goal at the 1, although Rebstock worse for wear down on the far sideline.
Yeah, that was a pretty big collision. Cade Patton and Webstock there. Hope he's all right.
And Patton, another man, was a D1 player here at West Point. An defensive back on the D1 roster as a freshman in 2021. And Penn looking to break up the shutout and score a touchdown. First and goal from the 1-yard line. Scherer on the keeper. He's not going to get there. Thrown backwards. That time it looked to be Rex Taysom who came up with the stop on the loss.
Great tackle there by Taysom. Penn running a guy in motion, and the running back also going the same side, and the quarterback pulling it down. Taysom wasn't fooled.
Looked like Scherer was thrown down like a rag doll there by Taysom. A freshman from Ohio. And it'll be second down and goal. Only a loss of 1 on the play. They spot it just a few inches behind the 2-yard line. Running right, Scherer with 3.5 to go, trying to move the line of scrimmage. And he'll pick up 1. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line.
Really nice job there by Castro setting the edge. That run was initially designed to get out to the outside, but nothing doing.
Army's defense refusing to relent, as now we're down to 3:20 to go here in the 4th quarter.
Believe it or not, this may seem insignificant, but this is a big drive, I think, for both teams, and a big goal line stand for both teams.
And certainly the way both teams' body language have shown. Penn desperate for a touchdown, Army desperate to keep the donut on the scoreboard. Inside, 3 to go. 3rd and goal from the 1. Scherer, handoff, Goodman, and he won't get there. Stopped short, maybe even a loss of 1 on the play. Who was it? Dylan Dennis appeared to be the man that jolted forward to come up with the stop. And the Quakers are going to use their first charge timeout of the 4th quarter. And this will be the play of the second half. 4th and goal, spotted just behind the 1-yard line. And as you mentioned just a few seconds ago, Caleb, may seem insignificant, something that will be lost for those looking at the box score tomorrow morning. But there's a reason why Penn's calling timeout, and there's a reason why there are so many bodies around that huddle for Army right now in a 31-point game with just over 150 seconds left.
You said it means a whole lot to both squads. Going back to what Coach Sessa says about points being non-negotiable, that's what they're fighting for right now.
And it's a good learning lesson as well for the 2nd and 3rd string players trying to make this defensive stand against Penn's first unit out there on the field. Not only a confidence booster potentially for the Quakers on this drive, but the up-and-comers in Army's depth chart as well. So here we go. 4th down and 1. Ball spotted just outside the 1-yard line. Bunch to the near side. 2 receivers to the far side left. Handoff. Goodman. Actually, Scherer keeps it. Throws throws, and he's got a touchdown. Oh, what a beautiful play fake by Ty Scherer, and he finds Sam Herzog. Herzog's first career touchdown, and Penn breaks up the shutout. It's 31-6 with 2.5 to go.
Nice play call there, play action. Had the flow of the defense going the other way, and I think that may have been the wham back out of the backfield that caught that touchdown pass.
Herzog, the Los Angeles native, his first career score. And Penn does break up the shutout with 2:30 to go. As Montemayor for the extra point. Johnson will hold for the Quakers. High snap. Montemayor able to fire it through, and so the shutout no more, at least tonight, as the Quakers get on the board. It's 31-7 with 2:27 left to play. What an outstanding effort by the Black Knight defense. The tail end of that drive, really, Caleb, was just an excellent play call there on 4th down for Penn.
Yeah, sometimes the offense just has a play you don't necessarily have an answer for, and that's one of them there. Gets really convoluted on the goal line. Lots of pass patterns and play action can mix you up.
It was great to see Trinity Hardy and Voss Kearney, two women's basketball stars, in the audience here tonight. Army's women's basketball season getting underway on November the 6th here at West Point against NJIT. Trinity, first full year back from major injury during her freshman campaign. Going to be one of the key players to watch at Crystal Arena this coming winter. There's Trinity in the blanket, Voss in the sweatshirt. Voss, a native of Texas. Trinity, a Florida girl. This one end over end will be taken by Bellon, and he'll call for a fair catch at the 15-yard line. So the Black Knights will have a first down and 10 at their own 25. Bellon, a little bit of a Jordan-esque shoulder shrug back to the sideline. Why'd you call a fair catch? It's a 24-point game. And Kyle West and company will come back out to work. And with 2:25 to go, try and find a way to pick up some first downs and bring this game to an end in the victory formation. What an effective night tonight for the Black Knights, a 31-7 lead. But as someone who has been in many of those film sessions and with the coaches, just enough for the coaching staff to harp on ahead of next week's showdown.
100%. There's always ways you can improve both offensively and defensively, even if it doesn't seem like that sometimes. And especially with the big game coming up next week, it's going to be crucial to, nip those things in the bud.
Nice little touch pass there from West to Kason Mackey. Another freshman from the state of Texas. And Mackey, a good strong run. Picks up a gain of about 5 there on first down. So 2 minutes to go. West under center. Handoff up the middle for J.P. Ross. And J.P. Ross doesn't have much room to run. And he'll be brought down. It'll be 3rd down with inside 2 minutes left to play here from Shea Stadium. A reminder, Army and Navy next Friday, 7 o'clock, but not here at Shea Stadium. It'll be at the Big House, Mikey Stadium. Right across the street from the gorgeous Lusk Reservoir. As West looking back to his dad and the Black Knight coaching staff for the signals with 90 seconds left to go ahead of this 3rd down. Army looking to move the chains and be able to take a knee and bring this one to its conclusion. Ross to West's left. Bringing the pressure is Penn. Throws over the middle and off the hands of Tilley and incomplete. Good coverage that time for Montemayor. And the Black Knights will be forced to punt one last time with 72 seconds left.
Another chance for Zach Shaver to showcase his leg. Hopefully I don't jinx him here, but I'm excited to watch him punt.
Well, I'm already 1 for 1 in jinxing kickers today, as Ryan Connors kicked one out of bounds after we were giving him his praises. See if Caleb's lucky. Shaver lets this one fly, and it certainly looks that way off the boot. Fair catch called for by Johnson, and he'll make it at the Penn 45-yard line with 64 seconds to go. And so the Quakers taking the field offensively one final time ahead of their bye week next week before they return home and take on St. Thomas Aquinas. But looking at the schedule, one of the interesting things, we mentioned Army at home against Navy next week. All of Army's intra-division games are on the road this year. Last week at Mansfield, at Cornell, following the Navy week, and then they close the regular season on November the 4th against Caldwell. The 3 divisional foes. Scherer on the QB keeper, and he'll jolt forward. Good chunky yards on the play as Braggs comes up with the tackle. So now inside a minute to go.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even notice that. All the divisional games on the road. I think that's the first time that's happened in a while.
I was going to say, I can't remember a time in which that's occurred. Sometimes that's the way it shakes out, but so far one interdivisional road game under their belt, and that task was handled beautifully. Last week against Mansfield, is thrown around the near side and pushed out of bounds is Folletta, a wide receiver with 26 seconds to go. And Penn will move the chains, another first down. Certainly plenty for the Quakers to try and take from the second half. Use as a positive break going into the bye week.
Yeah, especially getting points on the board is really big for them. Knowing you can punch it in when you need to.
Especially on a big fourth down. And the opposing team was just as keyed up for that moment as they were, as another catch by Folletta along the near side with 22 seconds to go. Gain of about 6 or 7 there. Will set up second down and short.
It's the same exact route as the play before.
Ball at the Army 38-yard line here. And looking to make one last push to the goal line before the final horn. 2 receivers to either side. Along the near hash, Scherer will just fire this one into the dirt. Right in front of the running back, J.T. Goodman, as the pocket began to collapse on the near side. Clock may have leaked an extra few seconds off there than there was supposed to be, but we won't tell if you won't. 12 seconds to go with 3rd down and 4 upcoming.
Good job overall tonight by Army, even though they gave up the late touchdown. Pretty complete game for them.
What would you say has impressed you most about Army, at least in this game tonight against Penn?
I would say the way the offense bounced back after those shaky drives that they had, being able to be resilient and bounce back, and then obviously the defense played a really, really great game.
And Scherer throws that one away, brings up 4th down with 7 seconds to go. See what Penn decides to do here. Jerry McConnell, I tell Ty, throw the ball as far as you can, my friend. 7 seconds to go, 4th down. Let it fly. Got nothing to lose at this point. I got to give a lot of credit to Scherer. Took a beating in the first half and really through the 3rd quarter as well. But continued to show great leadership and setting up Penn for that touchdown drive last time out. Scherer back to pass, rolling right, trying to get away from Braggs, and that is going to end this one with an exclamation point. Robert Braggs with a sack. They might put 1 second left on the clock, but either way, Army's going to walk out of Shea Stadium with a home opening victory. Well, we talked about the dominant defense tonight. That will be the final play of the ball game. And fitting, Caleb, that it's Robert Braggs that brings this one to a close with a sack.
Yeah, great play. I mean, it's hard to run a Hail Mary play when you're having that much trouble protecting the quarterback, and that's exactly what we saw there.
Your final score tonight here at Shea Stadium, your Army West Point Black Knights 31, and the University of Pennsylvania Quakers 7. Army improving to 2-0. Penn drops to 1-2 at the loss. A reminder, everybody, right back here on Night Vision on YouTube next week from the Big House at Michie Stadium, 7 o'clock. It is Army and Navy, the annual Gold Star game. Don't miss it. Caleb and I will be there with you to bring you all the action tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but next Friday night at 7 o'clock. Make sure you mark your calendars for Army football tomorrow on the road. But Caleb, before we sign off tonight, any final thoughts on a thorough victory for Army to open up the home schedule?
Yeah, it's always nice to get that first home win under your belt, especially against a storied program like Penn. And, you know, enjoy this one tonight, but tomorrow the thought goes immediately to Navy and prepping for them.
Career win number 81 for head coach Mark West as the Black Knights and Penn Quakers get ready or complete what was a thrilling ball game here tonight as the Black Knights defeat Penn 31-7. And before we say our final goodbye, at Michie Stadium is tradition here at Shea Stadium as well, the playing of the West Point alma mater. That'll be the goal next week at this same time. Army-Navy from Michie Stadium, 7 o'clock next week on YouTube. So for our entire incredible crew here at Shea Stadium, including our producer, Ryan Penny, our graphics operator, Nikolai Busco, replay operator, Zach Neubauer, our camera operators, Mike Coletti, Michael Tornillo, and Ryan Loeffler, as well as my partner in crime. His debut in the broadcast booth was beautiful. Caleb Self, thank you so much for joining us. We'll look forward to another fun one next week at Michie Stadium.
Thanks for having me. It was fun. Never done this before, but watched a lot of football, so just tried my best.
Well, you did a phenomenal job and can't wait for what next week brings. For Caleb Self, I'm Justin Rock. Army 31, Penn 7. Good night from West Point.